If one would read this little pamphlet, one would see here that Mr. Lenin had precisely pointed out that all of the world had already been conquered and divided by colonial powers. There was no else in the world left to be conquered or divided by colonial powers. This is the time when Zionism comes to rise. Zionism comes to look for a state when everywhere else in the world is already dominated. Thus, in order for Mr. Herzl to get a country for Zionists, what he did was to attach himself to imperialism, British imperialism in this case, quite specifically. Of course, as an African who suffered under the heels of British imperialism, I can have no love for it, and certainly I cannot love anyone who attaches themselves to it for the foundation of a state and then call this a liberation movement. Liberation movements fight against imperialism, not with it. Clearly here. Yes. The legal foundation of the State of Israel is what is known as the Balfour Declaration. This declaration was issued in 1917. A man in the government of Britain named Balfour wrote a paper and promised the Jews a national home. The national home he promised them was an area which Britain was colonizing, Palestine. Palestine didn't belong to the British, just like Ireland doesn't belong to the British, even though they have troops there. But here, these British imperialists signed a note and gave it to the Jews, and they accepted it. Where is the morality for this? If you say that Israel belongs to you, then you don't go to a thief to get Israel, you go and take it. Once you go to an immoral being such as British imperialism, and this is the basis for you getting the land, then clearly here those who are truly liberation fighters must question this. The basis, we say, is the Balfour Declaration, and Zionists know it. The Zionism is certainly not a liberation movement because it never fought against any imperialism. As a matter of fact, today, Zionism is the baby, child, and infant protector of imperialism in the Middle East. It carries out the interests of American imperialism. As a matter of fact, Zionism and American imperialism is like this. If our tax dollars would stop giving money to Israel, the state would sink tomorrow. And certainly no one can deny that American imperialism is the leading imperialist nation in the world. So we cannot see how a liberation movement is so tied, string in hand to American imperialism. They work hand in hand with American imperialism. Thus, they can hardly be a liberation movement. In addition to this, Zionism has nothing to do with anything religion, nothing. All religions are concerned with human beings after they die. That's what religions are for. Islam will tell you what happens to you when you die. As a matter of fact, this which forces you to live a good life so that after death, you'll be able to enjoy the rewards of heaven. The same is true for Judaism. But Zionism says nothing about the individual after they're dead. They don't give a damn about you. The Zionism has nothing to do with religion at all. And one should not make the confusion here. The Palestinian state belongs to the Palestinian people. This is a fact.
You are removed from your ghettos of Warsaw and Krakow. You are removed from your ghettos, white Jew. But these, the sons and daughters of Africa, we are still in the ghettos of white America to this very day that we sit here tonight.
This is the ugly face of black nationalism in America.
No Jew on the face of the planet Earth can say that you were robbed of your name, your language, your religion, your culture, your God, your folkways, your mores, your norms. If you do, you're a damn liar. And as Jesus said, the truth is not in you. You make me sick.
A violent anti-Semitism, the causes of which are understood only by disciples.
The only reason we speak upon the Jewish community or elements thereof is their relationship to our suffering.
But why single out one group from the white community, especially one that suffered already so terribly?
We contended that the Jewish Talmud, which was practiced yesterday and today, caused more murders of Africans than all of the gas chambers in Nazi Germany.
For the Jewish Holocaust Memorial, we thought of how out of the German people, the so-called Jews were given a Schindler's List. But out of the white man of America and the European nations, the Jews and Arabs who participated in the Black or the African Holocaust, we were given a swindler's list.
We have a duty also to let the world know that there was another Holocaust, which gives its truest definition, the Black Holocaust.
Surely it just denigrates your own case to turn hatred on the Jews.
White Christians, the Catholics have all admitted their role in our oppression, but the ones who have consistently denied and kept secret their role was the Jewish people. Now the secret relationship is being revealed.
My perspective, that is correct. And I would say that anybody who looked at the whole thing would end up with the same conclusion.
So are you saying that you believe that some blacks have been forced out of their homes and their businesses in Crown Heights?
They certainly have. They have been forced out, forced out primarily with the power of money. They will call you up, they will knock on your door, they and ask you if you want to sell your house, and they'll guarantee you all cash.
The so-called Jew Holocaust. And I say so-called Jew because he's not a real Jew. He's a Johnny-come-lately Jew who just crawled out of the caves and hills of Europe just a few days ago.
Now they say you're a so-called Jew. That's what they refer to us as, the so-called Jews.
At a yeshiva or religious school in Brooklyn, Norman Rosenbaum addressed the non-African children of New York Jews.
And they're saying that because what they're trying to do is build up the justification to physically attack us, to dehumanize us. And you know who did that the last time? Adolf Hitler.
Good evening. This is the Truth Hour. And don't you touch that dial. You stay tuned in to the Truth Hour. I'm going to lock my jaws in the backside of these no good imposter perpetrating a fraud Jews behind, and the rest of these crackers behind. And you know when a bulldog bites, his jaws lock.
At this point, my crew and I had the misfortune to be kneeling below the stage.
All of you are Holocaust victims. Every last one of you is a Holocaust victim.
As we were being moved by his bodyguards, Khalid Muhammad turned his attention on us.
Dirty, low down bastards.
And for a brief moment, we too knew what it was like to be hated.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. See ya. See ya. And I wouldn't want to be ya. You have to give these bastards hell, every last one of them. And there will come a time when we won't even allow you to come in the goddamn door. We'll run you out of here with your cameras and everything. We will run you down the streets of the cities of America.
What is good, my people? We are live back again on the forecast. What's going on, my people? How y'all doing? I just came to holler at y'all tonight, you know what I'm saying? Because I do want to go over a couple of things, but first, I want to let y'all know to make sure y'all subscribe to my backup channel, the Forecast Radio 24, because you know, we already saw what happened to my brother God's channel last night when he started showing some real stuff and people start you know, catching their feelings and then probably got reported and all of that stuff. So let me put my backup channel in here so y'all can subscribe. All right, because y'all definitely want to make sure y'all on that just in case they take down my channel or something tonight. What's up, Bill Gates, my brother? And also, if you want to talk about the topic, you know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about nothing else right now. If you want to talk about something else, it'll have to be at a later time or whatever. But I want to because we always got this thing about we got all of these friends, and then we get in this people of color and then power to all the oppressed people stuff. And we got to start examining our allies and our friends, and whose back we have. And also, I don't know if you seen my brother Guy's show the other day. You know what I'm saying? The So let me hold on. Let me put the link in the chat for if you want to talk about this. But the guy, European Jew dude came on there. He tried to get arrogant. You know what I'm saying? He thought he could kind of run whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he actually met some real brothers. And I'm not gonna lie, yeah, I was trolling him a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because I know he wasn't there for a sensible conversation. So, I wasn't there. I mean, I know that Holocaust stuff hurt them, you know what I'm saying? But the truth is the truth. But, the thing is, we do got to talk about all of these friends and allies that we so-called have ourselves, and how his arrogance. And that's another reason why I talk about this particular group. So first of all, before we get into this, let me be clear, because I know people be like, Jews they're the ones who do it. No, they're one group who do it. And they competed just like everybody else, you know what I'm saying? Just like the quote unquote Anglo-Saxons and the other groups who competed with the Jews who didn't like them. They competed for us just like them, and for the land and all of that kind of stuff just like them. So no, I'm not saying it's all the way them, but let's not ignore their role in all of this stuff, And really, I'm not gonna lie, God kind of showed me something about how to kind of, I guess, get more people to come from different places to kind of challenge it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna start doing that in the future. But I do want to address a couple of things that was said, just to do some fact checking, you know what I'm saying? Because even though I troll them and stuff like that, I like trolling them, but you have to have the facts to back it up. And he was just saying everything we're saying is crazy and delusional, and oh, we're just tripping, you know what I'm saying? We're making this up, we're making that up. Because everything, that's how they use propaganda. And I'm saying study them, watch how they do it. That's how you use propaganda. The people who call you anti-Semite, the people who use the term anti-Semite and use it to discriminate other people, are some of the most anti-Semite people in the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie about that. Like, look at what they do to other Semitic people from around the world. It makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? But also, I don't just throw unfounded claims out there. So, we're going to talk about that. And of course, other people of color who dabble in and out of this whiteness, this illusion, who also benefit from this scale of what we doing, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna address all of that. So I'm gonna do a couple of screen shares. Yo, what's going on? My brother Person Kid. Hold on, give me 1 second. And anybody can hop on if you want to hop on, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna do some screen shares. So, we just gonna comment on a couple of these videos, you know what I'm saying? So, if you wanna, if anybody wanna talk about that, you can hop on. So hold on, give me 1 second. All right, yeah, my bad. Now, the first thing that was brought up, you know what I'm saying, that I mentioned was the word kite, And by the way, dude is an obvious hypocrite. They're just a troll, you know what I'm saying? We know this. And he showed his hypocrisy because notice, right? When I said it, he said, "What is this word? What does this mean?" I don't know what these words mean. But when Ben called him that, then hey, why do you call me that? Would you like if I call you N-word? That false threat that they have, that false Barretto they have, especially over the internet, or if they got you 100 to 1, you know what I'm saying? But the truth is, like, he asked a good question. What exactly is a kite? You know what I'm saying? And my answer was him, which it was the right answer, you know what I'm saying? But I had to see and go back and actually see what is this word, you know what I'm saying? So let me share my screen here and do the first one, because I just want to address some of these issues here. All right. So the etymology of hate, every word we carry speaks its own history, so I was like, what are some derogatory terms from them? So it's like Abe, like some BS. Heb, it's a slang word for Hebrew according to Jewish English lexicon. Initially, this was a derogatory term, but is now used by some Jews as a prideful term to identify themselves with their community. Oh man, so a Heb is almost like the N-word, but different. Not comparing the two, but it was a derogatory term that some use as a prideful term to identify them with. Like some people try to make the argument for Negroes. So I mean, there you have it. A Jaime, when eyeshadow that stretches to your forehead and afros were rocking a decade, this slur was born. So whatever that is. A Jidan, hatred can be found in any language. This term from Romania is a corruption of regional Slavic term for Jew, Jid. We later see that it contributes to the creation of the slur Zid. So I guess Zid or Zidan is good. So here we go, a kite, Now, unfortunately, this well-known slur has Madrid hypothesized origins. There is a theory so basically they don't know. There is a theory by Philip Cohen, editor of the American Hebrew, that it comes from the Yiddish word of keikel, or circle. He suggests that Jewish immigrants, not knowing the Latin alphabet, signed their entry forms with the circle rather than a customary X, which signified Christianity. On this theory, Ellis Island immigrants inspectors began calling people kikels. In short, it became kikes. So basically, they was dumb and illiterate, and so they signed their name with a circle, and they called them kikes or whatever. Haim, that it comes from that word or whatever, So it's a lot of stuff here. So a shinny is an outdated slur, has another highly debated etymology going back to discussing in the 1800s, perhaps the oldest in theory. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess we can take a vote on which ones you like, you know what I'm saying? But, I just want a shyster. I'm pretty sure everybody understands that. This word was defined as unscrupulous lawyer in 1843 U.S. slang. So, pretty much in America, they got called shysters, you know what I'm saying? From German of incompetent, worthless person. So a shyster, you know what I'm saying? We can use that. From shashis, maybe we should say it in German. No, I like that one. Shalak, Yid, So, there you have it. Just a couple of things. So I'm not really sure what people want, you know what I'm saying? What's going on, Bakari? And anybody can hop on, but what y'all think, you know what I'm saying? But that was a good question that he asked, you know what I'm saying? What exactly is a kike? Because he seemed pretty offended, and to me that was just hypocrisy, because he was on there talking about why it was just a joke to call us monkeys and all of this stuff, and we get so mad, and it's just a word and nobody takes it serious and all of this stuff. And that's another thing. And this is why I like calling them out a lot. They have this sense of arrogance, and they try to mix up their doctrine in and out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not white, I'm Jewish. You know what I'm saying? Now, a black person can be Jewish. Therefore, a white person can be Jewish, And he tried to say, no, I'm not white. This guy's not white, and blah, blah, blah. He says he's African, as if there are white people in Africa trying to call themselves African right now. So they like to throw themselves in and out of it, but it's this doctrine that they really, well, whether they believe is true or not, they carry themselves as if they're this quote unquote chosen people, and they have this sense of arrogance. You heard how he thought he could just talk over us and say what he want, and he told Ben, "Oh, you don't talk because you're saying this and that. No, and you can't talk because you're saying this and that." And meanwhile, he couldn't debunk anything because he hadn't read a book. He doesn't know how anything started. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to, so if anybody out there, y'all can like, which words do y'all think? You can keep kite. Shyster is pretty good. I kind of like this one. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Please be warned and take care." This one is particularly offensive. You know what I'm saying? So I vote for this one, a shyster. And it's from America. You know what I'm saying? Or Sheshi as an incompetent, worthless person. You know what I'm saying? So I like that one, you know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know. But anyway, you know, a small hat, he like small hat. Yeah, whatever is the most offensive. But yeah, I mean, that was just the first question. Now, there was some other things that I said, and yeah, look, I do be trolling them just to get on it because I like it. You know what I'm saying? And this is just my guilt. That's just my thing. I'm not telling anybody you have to waste your time and do that kind of stuff. I just like it. You know what I'm saying? But when I troll them, I don't just be making stuff up. You know what I'm saying? What I be telling you is the stuff that their own scholars have said. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna show y'all a couple of videos because the next thing I said, Christopher Columbus was a Jew, and he got kind of hot. Was like, no, Christopher Columbus wasn't no Jew, and I wasn't just making that up just to make them mad. You know what I'm saying? Even though they don't like that kind of stuff. Yo, what up, Leotis Brown? What up? So any of y'all want to come on, y'all put it in the chat, and then but I'm gonna share the screen so I can't see, so you can just come on. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna share the screen so I can't see right now. All right. So let me do the next screen share because I want to show y'all I wasn't just making this stuff up as far as them being like when I say these people, Christopher Columbus was a Jew, because that was an interesting thing, you know what I'm saying? People don't really know the truth about, and they like to hide their obvious known history, let alone stuff like this. So I ain't gonna play a lot of this dude. But if you want to hear his whole dumb speech about
Good morning, everyone. Boker Tov. Welcome to Sunday Shul here at SPL. We are in the course, The Chronicles of the Apostles, and this is class number 97 in that course. We're going to begin with a little bit of an excursus from that course because what we'll discuss at the beginning really isn't in the timeline of the Chronicles of the Apostles course. But last week made mention of the fact that Christopher Columbus was Jewish, and apparently that struck a fancy for many of you. So I will unpack a little bit more of that, and I will share some of that with you, not all of it. I'll share with you a couple of books, at least one book. I think I have a couple references that have been written on it, but there have been several recently. And then also just kind of the context of it, as well as maybe, I don't know. I'll see how it goes. There's a lot I know. I don't know how much I'm going to give you today. All right, but I'll give you the basics.
that Jewish arrogant stuff.
But I'll see how the spirit is flowing in here. But then we should have time to kick back into the Chronicles of the Apostles, where we will come back into that. We're in the timeline where the epistle to the Hebrews.
All right. So I just wanted to show y'all that I wasn't just making this up. Now, let me play this. Now, I played this video on the last video that I did about them, and this is from Steven Spielberg himself in the Hebrew University of Jerusalem page. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't play this whole video because they kind of on here whining about their history and stuff like that, so it wasn't necessary. But I'm gonna play this whole thing, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna go into another one too. But I just want to see what their people are saying. That not me. I didn't say none of this stuff, So let's say what Spielberg had to say.
What is the Jewish link to the discovery of America? There is speculation that Christopher Columbus may have been Jewish. The astronomical charts that he used on his historic voyage were prepared by Abraham's.
Wait, what did he just say?
There is speculation that Christopher Columbus may have been. There is speculation that Christopher Columbus may have been Jewish. The astronomical charts that he used on his historic voyage were prepared by Abraham Zacuto, a Jew. It is also known that members of his crew were Jewish. In the same year that Columbus left Spain for the New World, as many as 160,000 Jews were expelled from Spain. In 1492, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain decreed that Spanish Jews convert to Catholicism or leave the country within 4 months. This expulsion brought an abrupt end to the troubled yet illustrious history of Spanish Jewry. The Jews of Spain knew both times of religious tolerance and times of cruel persecution. During the Spanish Inquisition, no less than 13,000 Jews were condemned to death. But Spain also offered a period of enlightenment for Spanish Jewry. In the 8th century, Arabs occupied most of Spain and welcomed the Jews. Traditional Jewish...
Wait, and you gonna hear that again, but keep that in mind for when we realize who else was Jewish, but according to their DNA. But keep that information in mind about the Arabs and
Spanish Jewry. In the 8th century, Arabs occupied most of Spain and welcomed the Jews. Traditional Jewish thought meshed with contemporary Arabic culture, and in the 10th and 11th centuries, a period which became known as the Golden Age, Jewish culture reached unprecedented heights. It was the tolerance of the Golden Age which inspired rich creativity, the harmony of religious and secular culture, Bible study, Hebrew literature, medicine and science, the study of Talmud along with poetry and philosophy. There
is a teaching by Jewish scholars which says, Abraham in his lifetime as Yiftach in his, which means every important man is important in his own era. It's impossible to compare periods of time, but there is no doubt that the Golden Age inspired men, encouraged a man like Solomon ibn Gabirol, who lived only 37 years, to greatly influence Hebrew poetry. Or Rabbi Moses ben Maimon, the Rambam, excelled in diverse subjects, not only Jewish law and Judaism, but also medicine and philosophy. To this day, we study the Rambam in many fields.
Columbus sailed to the New World while the Jews of Spain scattered to foreign lands, Africa, Asia, Holland, England, Turkey, Greece, and Palestine. The influence of Spanish Jewry is visible in today's Israel. Busy streets bear the names of poets, philosophers, and scholars whose writings we continue to study. These streets were once filled with the sounds of Ladino. Much like the European Jews who so treasured the Yiddish language, wherever Sephardic Jews went, they took with them Ladino, the Spanish language of their ancestors. Ladino is one of the many languages from the Jewish diaspora.
All right, yeah, you see, it was just them whining on the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to show y'all that video because that's the first evidence that we have, and I wanted y'all to keep in mind too, because that whole Arab stuff come back and all of this stuff in their role and everything that they do. You know what I'm saying? But you know, so I'm not just making this stuff up about when I be saying, oh, this person was a Jew or that person was a Jew. I'm not just saying that. That's what their scholars say. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Who am I? You know what I'm saying? According to him, you know, like I'm supposed to accept somebody calling me a monkey. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, these are friends, you know what I'm saying? But I also talked about, you know what I'm saying, their role in all of this in the slave trade. And we talked about the bank stuff. And he tried to say that was fake. But, you know, they know stuff. But, of course, they deny it. And like the dude said at the beginning, you know, these are the only group of people who try to actually, well, they all lie about it. Don't get me twisted. But they try to come at you for even bringing it up like it's anti-Semitic. How dare you speak on us? No, it's time for us to be real with all of these other groups. We ain't afraid of them. You know what I'm saying? They can try to block us if we want. You know what I'm saying? They'll just make us push harder to create Ben's channel. You know what I'm saying? But yo, let me so going into the next one, I'll go into the next screen share though. Because it's more to this Christopher Columbus being the Jew thing that we definitely gotta talk about. And is also involved in the slave trade, you know what I'm saying, their involvement, just to see, like, you know, it's not making this up, you know. It's racism there, you know. So, all right, here we go.
Realize what happened within. How many people really realize what happened within the Jewish community in Spain in 1492?
Well, this is a mystery that God has kept for a long time, because we've said that Christopher Columbus is from Italy. No, he's from Portugal. No, he's from Spain. Well, where is he really from? Well, they say that he was from Genoa, Italy, but his Italian writing is horrible. But his Castilian is perfect, you know. So, you know, so be it as it may, recently there is a growth, an exponential growth of discoveries that point to the fact that Christopher Columbus, first of all, his name is not Columbus. His name, and not because I'm Hispanic with Sanchez surname and Martinez and so forth, but his name is Colón. And so in Spanish, we have it right, Cristóbal Colón. So his real name is Salvador Zarco. All right. But now recently we've discovered that Christopher Columbus, Cristóbal Colón, was known as a quote unquote Marrano. Marrano? The Marranos are those that were forced to convert to Roman Catholicism, that were Sephardim, and then they were forced to eat pork. Which is very.
So basically, when he was just talking about the first video when they got kicked out of Spain, you know, he transferred. He one of those lying ones, one of those shysters who act like he was somebody else, but really practice his own stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just to get money, you know, to get rich.
To Roman Catholicism, that were Sephardim, and then they were forced to eat pork, which is very unkosher, and then they were called Marrano, pigs. Swine, because you see the facade of the Spanish Inquisition. What is Inquisition? It comes from the root word to inquire. But this was more than inquiring. This was spying and forcing Jews to convert to Roman Catholicism. So what's happening during this time is that it's not so much the facade of religion to force people to convert. It was greed. It's because the crown, the King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella are going broke. They're exploring all over the place, wars all over the place. They need money. Yes. All right. So who's got the money? Who are the financiers? Who are the ones that are so wealthy in Spain and later Portugal? Well, the Sephardim, the Jews. Okay. So as early as 1391, there was a major diaspora, meaning scattering, because of the oppression, tortures, burnings at the stake of the Jews before and after conversion. They were being burned. So many of them in 1391 fled to North Africa, parts of Europe, into the Middle East. So already the tension, the pressure, yet the Inquisition is not official, but already that spirit of the Inquisition, which is basically a Holocaust, okay, is pushing people. So on the one hand, you have ascendance of wealth and prosperity and successes and achievements, but on the other hand, you have the Spanish Inquisition coming and assaulting all of these wonderful breakthroughs.
All right, so there you have it. He's saying not only was he a Jew, now he's saying that they funded the slave trade. Wow, so you know, this is there. This is, you know, this is these people saying this, you know.
It's this Google Chrome extension called Speechify, and it literally does
bad for this.
Breakthroughs. Okay, so that's pretty much what's happening 100 years prior to 1492. Is already the pressure coming on you know, through the La Casa Santa, or El Santo Oficio, meaning El Santo Oficio, the Holy Office. The Holy Office was the one that orchestrated the Spanish Inquisition. All of this is in the history books. Not not very prolifically, not very, we don't know much about it, but if you dig, it's there. All right. La Casa Santa, the Holy House, was generally the place of torture. And generally, it's in the basement of major cathedrals and convents and such, as we've seen with our own eyes, where they used to burn at the stake, even, and I'm going to make a quick leap forward and come back, even in Mexico City, all right, which this Inquisition leaped across the Atlantic into Mexico and other Latin American countries. So that's what was happening around Cristobal Colon. So why did he sail the ocean blue in 1492? Because who is in La Niña, La Pinta, and La Santa Maria? His fleet of ships that were journeyed back and forth, bringing passengers. Who are the passengers? We'll get the passengers list and find out. They're Martinez's and Durans and Montalvos and Sanchez, and Bacas, and you name it. All of these names, well, might they be Sephardic? Well, if Christopher Columbus, Colon, is Sephardic, and Columbus kept sending letters to his son Don Diego, all right, who was left behind, and in his memoirs, in his letters, he puts little Hebrew sayings such as Be'erat Hashem, with the help of God. And so all that is to say, who is he hauling? He's hauling a lot of passengers that are Sephardic Jews.
Well, Del, the history books say that it was the crown's jewels that paid for his trips and financed the ships. Is that true?
No.
That's a great question.
The fact is, I think you've read my notes. They say that Queen Isabella sold her jewelry, all right, to finance Columbus's voyages. She sold her Jews, her subjects, not her jewels, because the ones that really financed Colon's voyages across the Atlantic were four Sephardic wealthy fellows: Abravanel, Señor, Santangel, and here again we have Sanchez. All right. So not that I'm related, but it was Jews that financed his journeys.
All right, so there you have it, and let me see if anybody came on or anything. Okay, hey, Lightbearer, how you doing? Okay, yeah. So let me let's go back and just look at some of the comments from this, because I wanted y'all to see, what they trying to say, because he was from Sephardic roots. My longtime grandparents were on this ship. So, there you have it. Columbus was for sure a Jew. All of this. Because, they got all kind of speculations, but somebody did ask a good question. Now, this is a question that I have y'all. Why did the Muslims welcome the Jews and not the Christians? That's a great question, You said, who do you think funded the Muslim invasion of Spain? So, that's a good question. I just wanted y'all to see that real quick, Oh, yo, thank you, my brother. I just wanted to answer a few questions. Now, I wasn't just throwing it out there, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely wanted y'all to see. Now, if any of y'all got anything to say, because I got a couple of more I wanted to share with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because there was some other things too that we was talking about that he was saying was nonsense or whatever. And, I'm not trying to single them out, because we're going to talk about another group after this, because it's something impossible I want y'all to see. If possible, watch Dr. Tony Martin and Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. Yeah, facts, my brother, facts. Thank you, Lightbearer. I appreciate it. And like I said, if any of y'all want to come on and do that. But I wasn't just trolling them, what I'm saying, when I was like, the oppression and stuff like that it was saying, even though I was trolling them, but I wasn't just making that up. And everything that he said was that he kept saying, oh, it's not true, that's not true, so I wanted to find out myself, So I found an article on that. So the next question was that, Like, why did Adolf Hitler hate the Jews? You know what I'm saying? Did he just wake up one morning, you know, and decide to put his grandma in the oven or something like that? Or was they doing something? Let's find out. Like, because this is white on white crime. You know what I'm saying? It's not my business. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he got mad at. You know what I'm saying? That it's not white on white crimes. It's white on white crime. It's not my business. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you know, let's just go back and see for ourselves what happened. All right. So let me put the next share on then. So this is an article. Why did Hitler hate the Jews? All right. So this one you can hear. So I want you to listen, and hopefully y'all can hear it.
Why did Adolf Hitler hate the Jews? Although much of Adolf Hitler's political manifesto, Mein Kampf, was devoted to explaining that hatred, researchers have looked for a more personal explanation. One can't consider the Holocaust without wondering about the source of Adolf Hitler's hatred for the Jews. Although much of his political manifesto, Mein Kampf, was devoted to explaining that hatred, which was clearly shared by an enthusiastic German nation, the actions taken against Europe's Jews were so monstrous in both nature and scale that it was inevitable that researchers would look for a more personal explanation. It's natural that scholars and others would scrutinize every piece of available evidence for proof of some deeply personal psychological injury that will explain Hitler, illegitimate father. Even before Hitler came to power, there were rumors that he was of Jewish descent, a detail of personal history that would be highly damaging.
Wait a minute. What do you mean illegitimate father? You mean they had a baby mama problem over there in Germany in 1900 something, you know what I'm saying, or 1800s or something? You mean to tell me they ain't have intact families and it wasn't a black issue? What do you mean he had an illegitimate father? And you know, just to clear it up, you know, back in the 1920s, you know, before Hitler even rose up, you know, somebody accused him of being a Jew, you know what I'm saying, because they was like, yo, his grandfather's a Jew, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, because this article kind of long, so I'm going to explain it a little bit, you know, but even though I'm going to let it play, they don't go into it. So when somebody tried to put him on blast, he was like, no, hell no, I ain't no Jew, I hate them, you know. But, you know, even before his rise and his speeches against him, you know what I'm saying, other people called him that just to, you know what I'm saying, he said it was to take him down, but it sounded like somebody knew some inside information on him, you know what I'm saying, to me. That's what it sounded like. But, you know, let's hear about his illegitimate, you know, however, his illegitimate childhood.
Him, and which he went to lengths to quash. The idea derived from the fact, not a secret, that his father, Alois Hitler, was illegitimate. Although Hitler's paternal grandmother, Maria Anna Schicklgruber, eventually married Johann Georg Heidler and took his surname, Alois was already aged 5 when she did so, and she never did reveal, if indeed she knew, who his father was. Naturally, there was much speculation about the identity of Hitler's grandfather. Most of it centered on Johann Georg Heidler himself and his brother, Johann Nepomuk Heidler, who was the stepfather of Alois, and who left him part of his estate when he died. The Jewish angle to the speculation, however, concerned a third candidate, a Jew named Leopold Frankenberg, who, according to Hitler's personal lawyer, Hans Frank, was the young adult son of a couple who employed Maria Schicklgruber as a cook at the time she became pregnant with Alois. According to testimony given by Hans Frank at the Nuremberg trials in 1945-46, he had heard from Hitler himself in 1930 about this Jewish ancestry. Nevertheless, no evidence has ever been found to support this claim, nor is there any proof that Leopold Frankenberger even existed. In any event, a connection between having an embarrassing ancestor in one's family tree to possessing a pathological hatred of that ancestor's ethnic group is far from obvious. The physician. Another well-known theory concerns the Jewish physician Edward Bloch, who cared for Hitler's beloved mother, Clara Hitler, before her death from breast cancer in 1907 at age 47. By the time Clara's condition was diagnosed, it was incurable, but Dr. Bloch, at her son's insistence, treated her for more than a month with a quasi-experimental medication called iodoform. The medication caused her excruciating pain, but did not extend her life. Could the Holocaust have been Hitler's revenge on Dr. Bloch for his inability to save Clara's life? Certainly at the conscious level, Hitler did not hold Bloch responsible for his mother's suffering. After her death, he actually wrote to Dr. Bloch thanking him for his devoted care. 3 decades later, in Post-Anschluss Austria in 1938, when Bloch wrote to the Chancellor asking for help, Hitler arranged for him to be spared the harsh measures being taken against Jews until he could make arrangements to emigrate to the United States, where he died in 1945. Mufti's idea? Last fall, Israel's prime minister suggested that Hitler got the idea for the Holocaust from the Palestinian political and religious leader Amin al-Husseini, who was the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem from 1921 to
Damn, so they wanted to kick him out too.
According to
Goddamn.
Benjamin Netanyahu, Hitler would have sufficed with expelling the Jews from Germany, but Husseini complained that if he did that, they would just come to Palestine. When Hitler asked Husseini
Which
what he
they did.
recommended, said Netanyahu, the Arab counseled him to burn them. Netanyahu's theory was not widely embraced, to put it mildly, and he himself soon backtracked on it, conceding that responsibility of Hitler and the Nazis for the extermination of 6 million Jews is clear to fair-minded people. Truth be told, in Mein Kampf, published in 2 volumes in 1925 and 1926.
Now, this is the part I'm telling y'all
had no special
what he said
feelings about
himself.
Jews before he moved to Vienna in 1908, and that even then, initially, he thought favorably of them. He saw the light only after Germany's loss in World War I, for which he held the Jews responsible. During the second half of the 19th century, as the Jews' emancipation throughout most of Europe led to their increasing integration into society and into the modern economy, it elicited a backlash. Anti-Semitism, some of it murderous, rose across the continent, including in Germany. When the Jews were kept apart in the ghetto and limited to certain professions, it was possible to accuse them of clannishness and resent the interest they charged on loans.
What?
But
So
when
the
they emerged from the ghetto,
interest they
became
charged
captains
on
of
loans.
industry and
What?
finance, and socially and intellectually prominent, there was a whole new set of reasons to hate them.
Boy.
The success of the emancipated Jews was perhaps even more galling than the poverty and degradation of disenfranchised Jews, and it gave rise to racial theories that posited an essential biological difference in them. When Imperial Germany went down to defeat in 1918, and Kaiser Wilhelm, the German emperor, was forced to abdicate, a popular theory that Germany had been stabbed in the back by the Jews took hold. Jews' role, on the one hand, in the socialist and communist movements that led revolutions in both Germany and Russia, and their prominence in international finance, on the other, led to dark theories about Jews' lack of national loyalty, their treachery, and their degeneracy. In Hitler's mind, all the groups that he saw as foiling Germany, Bolsheviks, socialists, social democrats, became identified with Jews because indeed Jews were so prominently represented among each of them. His political theories blended with increasingly technical racial theories that imagined the Jews, along with other groups like Slavs and Gypsies, as biologically inferior to Aryans, the white Northern European race that pure Germans were presumed to belong to. However perverted his thinking and outrageous his theories, though, and whatever personal experiences he did have that may have turned him against Jews, Hitler was supported at every level of German society by people who were ready to see their country return to the greatness they felt had been denied it, and to believe that it was the Jews who were responsible for that fall from grace.
All right, so there you have it. He himself, he was saying his issue was, their predatory practices, their high interest on their loans, and like he felt like they was grimy or whatever. So, he felt like he said he hated us because Hitler knew we were the superior race. Yeah, he found that out during the Olympics. And by the way, this is not taken up for like Hitler, because like, to be honest with you, what's the difference between Hitler and George Washington? You know what I'm saying? To us, you know what I'm saying? To me, Hitler, all of them, they're just different groups of white people who've all worked together to, come at us, But, I just wanted to show, like, why did he hate him? And they brought up a couple of good things also when we start talking about that too. So, but he said himself that, it's the way they, how they treat people. He used to like them and stuff until they seen their predatory practices. And then he was like, man, is they double crossing us? Which they was, and he saw what happened. So, according to this article now, you know what I'm saying? So, and it seems as though they do get kicked out of everywhere they go. You understand? So, but it brought up an interesting thing. It talked about his parents or whatever. And they were saying that Hitler's grandparent, because I also said Hitler was a Jew, and people will probably believe dude. And he was like, oh, that's crazy. And it's not just, like I said, I was trolling them, but it's not just me making up these claims, you know what I'm saying, out of nowhere. I didn't just say that just to say it, just to make them mad, If it makes it mad, it's not our yeah, they study Hitler like a lot, you know what I'm saying, in their academics and all of that stuff. But they were able to get a lot of people to rise up, and it's just curious as to why. And that they always seem to say, like, you know, these predatory loans and stuff like that, or giving out loans on high interest rates and shady practices, a lot that we see here in America. You know what I'm saying? So that was, but it did lead us to our next question: was Hitler a Jew? So let's see here if he was a Jew or not. Okay, so I was asking, you know, was he a Jew? And I was looking at some information on it. So was Hitler a Jew? So according to Jewish people, hell no, he ain't no Jew. That's pretty much what they trying to say. All right, so we're gonna skip to this one. Somebody else. Hey, well, you know, of course, Jewish is not a race. That's what he tried to deny. But ultimately, they're saying no. You know what I'm saying? Holocaust. Let's see what the UK Holocaust stuff is saying. I don't know. Here we go. Misconception. Hitler was part Jewish. There is no evidence that Hitler had Jewish ancestry, despite frequent studies into his ancestry. So that doesn't make sense, you know. The misconception that Hitler was part Jew arose in 1920 because of rumors started by his political opponents, which they just said they heard him say himself, you know. But, you know, and we'll see why those things rose up. So, you know, they said it's a misconception. But here you have one thing, you know, studies suggest Hitler's paternal grandfather was Jewish. So, let's see. Hitler's right-hand man, Hans Frank, claimed to have discovered that whatever they called his dumbass grandfather was indeed Jewish. So his right-hand man, like, domed him out, you know what I'm saying, and say, yeah, the dude is Jewish, you know. And we're not going to go through this whole article, but, you know, his right-hand man saying that he is now, you know, that wasn't me making this up. They said that, you know what I'm saying? In his 1946 memoir he published, He Was Executed, Frank claimed to have uncovered evidence in 1930 that Hitler's paternal grandfather was Jewish man living in Graz, Austria, in a household where Hitler's grandmother was employed. So, you know, he was saying that in the 1930s, you know what I'm saying? So that's what, according to him. And this is his right-hand man. So who are we to believe, you know what I'm saying? A study, and they're talking about African ancestors now, you know. And this is the part that I want y'all to go back and realize, you know. When I was telling you about the Arabs that they got cool with, you know what I'm saying, and going back into his history, you know what I'm saying? So, yo, what up, Bakari? What up, guy?
What's going on, my man? Can you
Not
hear me?
much, chilling, bro. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm on my phone, so if I get knocked off, because I'm still out at the Washateria. But yeah, peace to everybody in the chat too. I can't see because I'm on my phone. So, but and you were just talking about Hitler being a Jew. It's not his granddad that make him a Jew though. By Jewish law, your mother have to be a Jew. So you should just Google. While you're on there, Google was Hitler's mother was a Jew, and it's gonna say yes. That's what make him a Jew. Because by Jewish law, if your mother is a Jew, that's what make you Jew. It don't go by what the man is. So, but yes, he was a Jew, and that was Jews destroying Jews. That was white on white crime, and wouldn't that be considered white on white crime?
Yeah, that's why, you know, I don't, you know, he was a Jew, you know, he was white on white crime.
Yep, and like I said, man, they always had tribal wars. They've been kicked out. They've been getting kicked out of countries for centuries now. Everywhere they go, everywhere they been, they got kicked out except the United States. Everywhere except the United States. Think about that.
Yeah, they talking about they will not replace us right now, bro.
Yeah, everywhere they go, they get kicked out except the United States. I wonder why they're not kicked out in the United States. But that Jewish dude last night, that kike, he knew what you was talking about when he said kike. That's why he started getting offensive. He wanted to you would be upset. You would be upset if I said the N-word. You would be upset if I said the N-word. Ain't that what he said? How would you like if I just sit here and call you the N-word? Yeah, it bother them. But you know what? Them Jews, they ain't shit. They are who they are. They a bunch of crooks. White folks, right? That's what they have done forever. And that's what they continue to do. That's who they are. You know, power to the oppressed people. Those same people that you're calling oppressed, them same Jews in them projects, in the Jewish projects. Matter of fact, Forecast, this is what you should do, Forecast. While you're on here, I want you to Google images of the Jewish projects in New York City and see what they look like.
Okay.
Yeah, Google that and put it in screen share that. See what the Jewish projects look like. Yep. But hey, but you know what though? You can't get mad at them. It's a small group. There's a small ethnic group of white folks, and they stick together. Well, all white folks they gonna stick together, but they most definitely because Jew ain't nothing. Jew ain't nothing but a religion. I don't, you know, they go back and forth with it. No, it's an ethnic group. No, it's just a religion. You know, they go back and forth with it. Then they try to make like they've been in Israel forever. The Jews and the Arabs, they're the same people. Those Arabs over there, when you see those white Arabs, they're the same. That's
Hey,
why they argue.
I'm sharing it on the screen while you talking. Go ahead.
Are those the Jewish projects?
I said I put in Jewish project buildings, Hasidic neighborhood in
Do
South
you
Philly.
see? I can't tell because they used to have somebody took a picture up of that posted, and I googled it. Right, they look completely different than the other projects in New York City.
I
And
don't
what
know.
the ones I can't see it because I'm on this phone, and I ain't got my glasses on. But they had one. They had a project building with a grocery store in the bottom of the project building, bro.
And the Chase Bank and stuff.
Yeah, that's the project. Yeah, right there. Do you see what's inside their project building, their public housing? Then you can look and see how many times they have gone to jail. How many of them got caught up in a food stamp fraud or welfare fraud scam a few years back. That's what they do. That's what they do. Now I had a Moore tell me while we looking at the Europeans and the Jews, if we ever get to the top of everybody who controlling the world, don't be surprised if those are Moors up there controlling the whole controlling the whole world and just putting the Jew name on it. Oh, that was just one. Just one. No, two of them said that to me. Just two of them. They other friends didn't even. I said, man, that don't even make sense. Their other friends didn't even agree with them. But yeah, man, dealing with this Jewish thing, being who they are, and for some strange reason, we always thought they were our friend. But you know that's why they like to throw John Brown up, right? You do know that, right?
Why? What? Say that again?
You know that's why they like to throw John Brown up in your face as make like he a hero for black folks, right?
Why?
Because he's a Jew. Brown is a Jewish name. Brown is a Jewish name. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
why they're
but
trying.
what
Go
did you
ahead.
say?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask you. Did you see that beginning when I was saying the slurs I was going through what a kike is and all of that?
Yeah, I heard some. Yeah.
What you
I heard
think?
some of the slick. You know, I'll stick with kike. I don't know them other ones. I know kike, so I'm gonna stick with kike.
I heard shyster before. I ain't
Yeah, I've
know that
heard
was for them.
shyster.
Yeah, I ain't know that was for them, but it's pretty accurate.
It sound like that shyster. That sound like some Jewish shit, right? Shyster.
Scheist or something like that.
Yeah, shyster. You're a shyster. Don't that sound like
Uh,
some Jewish shit?
yeah. Oh yeah. Or German, one of the two.
hmm The barbarians. They were the Germans were the original barbarians. Did you know that?
I mean,
Did,
to me, they all barbarians, but
no, but I'm saying, but did
yeah.
you know that's where the term came from though? Was for them.
Nah.
Yeah, Romans. Everybody who didn't speak their language, who didn't speak Latin, and fought differently, they were considered barbarians. But mainly their language. If you didn't speak their language, it was the Romans that called everybody uh, barbarians. That's who that come from, calling people barbarians. Well, was Romans. But go ahead, man. I'm still out here at this Washateria. I just wanted to get on here for a second. I'm back in here, and I know you can hear that thing. So I'm gonna listen offline, man. I'm about done. Hopefully you
All
still
right,
on
yeah,
about
yeah.
another 15. Hopefully you still on about another 20 minutes. So I can
Yeah,
go.
I should be because I got
I'll
a
come
couple
on my
more screen
computer.
shares.
Yeah. So I'm gonna watch.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, and if anybody, what's going on, Raw? How you doing? And like I said, if anybody else want to jump on and you can just jump on. I'm gonna share the screen there for the next one because you know, I just found something pretty interesting. So, all right. So, I don't know how many of y'all go by DNA tests, you know what I'm saying? And I know people like to say that, but listen, look at this headline. Adolf Hitler had Jewish and African ancestors, show DNA test. Now, I know people are going to take that information and use it the wrong way, use it for evil, but I want you to go back and remember when they were saying they was going back over there and they had this connection with the Arabs in East Africa. Like why did the Arabs over there and the Muslims accept the Jewish people and not the Christians? You know what I'm saying? That was a great question. So we do got to keep that in mind when we start talking about this. Because I know people use that information for not for good. Nazi leader Adolf Hitler possibly had Jewish as well as African ancestors communities whom he had pledged to exterminate. So, I wasn't just making this up. According to his DNA from what they got, and that's for whoever want to say that, but that's according out of his mouth from his right hand man. That's he was accused of that when he was young, when somebody put him on blast, and that was in his DNA. You know what I'm saying? So, they're talking about his ancestors or whatever. And his great nephew Alexander Stewart Houston, who lives in New York, you know what I'm saying? And we do know, if we can go back and remember, that was that Dutch colony, you know what I'm saying, that started the Wall Street stuff. When I was telling y'all those Jewish merchants started that, you know, he had an Australian cousin or whatever. It revealed he had the Y chromosome that is rare in Germany and the west of West Europe, but common among Jewish and North African groups. All right, so blah blah blah. It was commonly found in the Berbers of Morocco, you know what I'm saying, Algeria, Libya, Tunisia, as well as Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jews, you know what I'm saying? So one could from this postulate that Hitler was related to the people whom he despised. All right, so there you have it. You know what I'm saying? That settles that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm glad you're here too, Raw. So, you know what I'm saying? When we say this stuff, we're not just making it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just making it up. And I troll them and they don't like they don't like that stuff. But we seen that Christopher Columbus, you know what I'm saying? They saying he was a Jew. We see that Hitler, they saying he was a Jew. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know who we're gonna believe. They're scholars or just some random dude on the internet trolling. So, you know what I'm saying? But one thing that did bother me, and like why I do talk about them all the time, you know what I'm saying? Because how he jumped in and out of this Jewish thing. I'm not white, I'm Jewish, as if there aren't black people who are Jews. And I don't like that arrogance that they seem to have. And they feel like they can tell other people what to do, when to do it, and people are supposed to jump. And they feel like they can deny obvious facts and then just say anti-Semitism, but that don't work, especially when you're a hateful group who have committed so many crimes against us. And that's just like every other group, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not singling them out, but since they singled themselves out, yeah, I understand what you're saying, bro. But and that white on white crime stuff is none of my business. So I don't really care what Hitler was. He was just to me, another white boy doing some psychotic stuff. You know what I'm saying? No different than George Washington. So I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? But it's that arrogance in how they do things and how they use that Jewishness, especially when you're a certain kind, because they don't accept everybody else. And yet they try to make themselves the victim and then try to come at us like we're doing something to them when historically we've never done nothing to them. Historically. Yo, what's up, Pelage? So look, judge rules that Judaism is not a race. It's not a race. Right? Because guess what? There are black people who are Jews and probably Jews before them, if we want to be real about it. But I'm not going to go into all of that. But Jewish people can be targeted for racism. Here's why that matters. So these people who are talking about white on white crime has a judge ruling in their favor that they can get hate crimes passed against them. But you know how hard it is for a black person to get hate crimes. And here is the crowd talking about they will not replace us, who they really should have smoke with. But, we already know. But Judaism is not a race, but Jewish people can be targeted for racism. That may seem like a contradiction. So they know their own stuff is contradiction. And just because it may seem like that means it is a contradiction. But according to the U.S. magistrate, Mark whatever of Louisiana, he updated the anti-discrimination laws in the state. So it sounds a lot like that Stop Asian Hate bill stuff to me. Right? It sounds like it didn't take long for them to get judges and courts to rule in their favor to give them some kind of protection from other groups that we still argue about voting and all of this stuff, that we don't need to ask for nothing. But see, these other groups use their power together to get things done. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. So help clarify the distinction between race and racism. Now, how does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? When white supremacy is expanding its reach. So now they're including white on white crime into these hate crime stuff. You know what I'm saying? And guess what they're using to do that? The Civil Rights Act of 1964, which again, they were against these people trying to step up in the South, which is the crazy part, because we showed that last time, how they felt. And the one or two people that tried to do something in their own communities punished them for doing it. But guess what they used? The Civil Rights Act of 1964. He wasn't being discriminated against for his religion, because what? Jewish? He's not actually Jewish. So this doesn't make sense. But, they find ways to bend the rules and all of this stuff. Now, tell me, when did a religion, Judaism, become a race? Because the last I checked, it was a religion. Okay, and he's trying to say it's going to backfire because that Nazi groups is going to claim they're a distinct race. Right, so, this is pretty much, I want you to see that, you know what I'm saying? So you know, the question is, are Jewish people of color? That's the thing, you know what I'm saying? That's the question. So few Jews are non-white in America. The vast majority of American Jews are non-Hispanic white Jews. Some view Ashkenazi or European Judaism. So in America, most of them, pretty much all of them, are white. But here this guy saying, I'm Jewish and I don't identify as white. Why must I check that box? Now he wants to, now this is the thing, you know what I'm saying? It may seem small, but this is getting into that people of color box, you know what I'm saying? Because they might talk against affirmative action, but when you look into it, as white women is the ones benefiting the most from it. And these other groups are benefiting the most from it. And not only that, our tax dollars are going to them. And, you know, he's on here crying about it. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm Jewish, a category almost lumped in with white. I am fair-skinned and have angelic and whatever, my last name Christianized himself, which my paternal grandfather adopted on his arrival in this country. In other words, I can easily pass as white and am unlikely to personally suffer any So now you telling me that he can just take off his yarmulke and fit into white society when he chooses and change his last name to a white name, and he'll be looked at as different? Because unless I put cape soap on my skin, you know what I'm saying, I'm stuck. So I don't want to hear this racism stuff, because to me, he can easily pass as white. It sounds like white on white crime to me. Nevertheless, I bristle at being considered or listing myself as white. My dad, blah, 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 is crying. He said, I do not believe Jews in the United States need affirmative action. It's more of a moral question for me. I do not identify as white. Why should I list myself? So even though he don't feel like they need affirmative action, it's just a question of morality that his people should be given it because white on white crime, you know what I'm saying? Now he going into some Bible stuff, so we're not gonna go there. And you know, this goes on and on about him crying about having to be called white. But that just shows you, like, when you classify as yourself as people of color, these are the same people who just want to be involved with you for moral issues. They don't need it, but they should be entitled to it, just like you are. And, you know, they try to make it, but there you have it. You know what I'm saying? They can fit in with full white. They can blend in. They look just like them. They act just like them. Let's be real. But, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, they still are our identity. Yo, what's going on, Pledge?
Hey, not much, man.
Yeah. Yo, what's going on, man? You got any thoughts about the topic?
Yeah, I just saw it. Can you hear me first of all?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. They are allies, and
Hey, Pelesh. Hey, by the way, before you go in, let me say this. Let me put the link in the chat again. If anybody want to come on, because that was the last screen share on this topic. So any of y'all got any questions on that topic before we want to talk about the last topic before we go to the next thing, then I'm gonna put the link in the chat and you can come on now before we go to the last one. All right, but yeah, go ahead, my brother.
How you doing, Philcast?
I'm good, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm sorry I've been missing you guys, and there are times, I see you and Brother Bakari go live. I'm at work and stuff like that, especially when Brother Bakari goes to when he does his lives, and and sometimes I'm just tired, my brother. So like you title it says like allies and friends, right? Am I right?
Yeah, but did you did you hear a lot of the show at the beginning?
I'm gonna be honest, then no, I have not. But
all right, hold on, let me say this before you go in, because I'm gonna still let you say what you want to say, but I want you to also like kind of on the topic too, because it's to the topic. I know you're gonna stick to it. And
Okay.
Myra just came in too, so she's not up on the topic. But the topic was like yesterday on Guy's show. Guy had a great show, and I'm gonna put it in the chat. And this kite came on there. This shyster came on there, and he was trying to shyst everybody. You know what I'm saying? And we were saying facts. He tried to say that they ain't have nothing to do with the banks. You know what I'm saying? They ain't have nothing to do with racism. He's saying there's no racism in Africa or whatever. And or not in Africa, in Israel. There's no racism. And so I was just addressing some of the things. I said Christopher Columbus was a Jew, and we saw that he most likely was. I said Hitler was a Jew, and we just saw his DNA has it. And also why they did the things that we did. So I was talking about a lot of the stuff with the Jewish stuff, but I named it allies and stuff like that because we're gonna go into another topic. But a lot of us want to have this the oppressed people all over the world attitude. And we just saw, I was just talking about how they classify themselves as people of color and not white, and how the dude tried to jump in and out of Jewish and whiteness at his convenience, you know what I'm saying? And they use that stuff to take advantage of stuff like that we got during the civil rights and all of that. But yeah, I'm gonna let you go ahead, and then and Pledge, not too long, my brother. No, you know, you my brother. But then and then MG2. But yeah, go in and say everything you want to say though. You know what I'm saying, Pledge. You on mute, brother.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say what's in my heart. So like honestly, I was a little just a little disappointed. What I mean by that is, trust me, it's gonna be about the topic. I feel like we as a people, like we're the most humane people. We're the most, loving people on the face of the planet. But I just feel like, sometimes I guess like it's to our detriment, it's good. I mean, it's good for the Europeans that we are not unified. Yeah, again, if we are unified, everything would be over. But my thing is, though, allies, to me, in my opinion, an ally could be, I mean, I want to be an ally with my people, with my melanated people, Unfortunately, some of us are, Judas, and some of us can't be trusted. So I just feel like we've gone through so much. Like, when are we going to realize, like enough is enough? Like for an example, I'm done of like getting upset with the judicial system, stuff like that here in this country. And obviously with you saw what happened with the is it Dante Wright or something like that, in Minneapolis.
Yeah, hey, Pelez, that's what I was saying, because that's going to be something else we talk about. Like, that's what I was trying to say, and we ain't going to talk about necessarily the case, but
Okay. Yeah, but like I said though, an ally to me, I will, like I said though, if it's gonna benefit, my people, I'm down for it. And we just have to hold people accountable, like our people who sell us out, who sell the countries out. That's all. And listen, I'm gonna stop, and then I know you have more to go, and I apologize. I feel like I'm not like well informed with the topic, but I'll yield the mic.
All right, yeah, you good, my brother. You good over here all the time. But yeah, I was just trying to, cause like we're gonna get to that. That's why I didn't want you to go to like something else either, cause we're gonna bring that up too. And but yeah, let MG2 go, cause I know MG2 was on the show the other day, so I know, so maybe you'll get a better idea. And if you got something to say, I'll let you say it real quick before we go to the last thing. All right, what's up, MG2, my brother? How you doing?
Always good to see you. I want to say peace to you guys, peace to the chat. Always good, and thank God. I was enjoying what Brother Bakari was telling us. I'm glad you brought it up, Brother Forecast, about how this segment of this population likes to change their name to go ahead and garner things. Might be resource, money, information, or whatever. and it's very correct. That's something that individual didn't want to. And if I was going to approach him with this, he would have probably jumped out of a window, which I wouldn't mind if that were the case. But to give you some reference, you can get it at SPC University, which I think is more of a neo-Nazi type thing, but it doesn't matter. What they're saying is true. They got a thing that's called Jews who change their names to white names, and they bring it up they call it the name changers. It says Jewish Hollywood moguls long ago decided that it would be that it would help make them more money in general. If public viewed films as being Christian, in fact, they were personally wanted to blend in with the Gentile community. Now, I'm gonna give you guys some names. You might not know of some of these folks, like Alan Konigsberg. A lot of these folks are before your time, Brother Forecast, and a lot of you guys' time. But Alan Konigsberg, he's still around. I guess he got in a little trouble recently, but his real name, that's his real name, but his name he made a lot of money on is called Woody Allen. So it's this is
that pedophile.
Yeah, that's the one that raped the stepdaughter he had and then married her. Then there's another one that, again, a lot of them are before you guys' time. Melvin Kaminsky, that's Mel Brooks. Of course, Joey Gottlieb, that's Joey Bishop. They changed their names, and of course, they're going to get any kind of reason why. A lot of it is, well, we had to do it because of the no. This is about anytime when somebody's going from race to religion, it is not because they believe in anything except for trying to either con somebody, control somebody, conquer somebody, or murder somebody. And that's usually what an individual will do that goes back and forth. No, we're a religion. No, we're a race this time. And it depends on the barometric pressure of the weather, and all of a sudden they're going to be a religion. And then it depends on if something what day of the week it is. Now I'm a race. Again, to kill, to control, conquer, or to con somebody. And a lot of these, like there was one, Jacob Cohen, that was Rodney Dangerfield. There was Elliot Goldstein, that's Elliot Good. Sarah Gabor, Zsa Zsa Gabor. These are individuals that changed. One of their most famous was Larry Leach, and that was one of their most famous so-called actors. That was Cary Grant. You had, the name goes, the list goes on like there's no tomorrow. Anyone that's ever watched Gilligan's Island, one of them by the name of Tina Blacker, that was Ginger, the one who played Ginger, Tina Louise. These are individuals who, it wasn't for a thing of being, like they'll say, well, we were oppressed and we were whatever it is. No, this is called, we need to conquer, control, or murder. And we're going to get our way. I don't care how we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So we're going to change our names to go ahead and get what we want at the expense of anyone else. There's somebody who I met a long time ago. It was weird in an elevator at the airport, but he was one of the most famous. He did a few shows, a lot of shows with Richard Pryor. His name is Jerome Silberman. And that was somebody I had ran into by the name of Gene Wilder. So these are individuals, like I say, that it's only goes to show you that if there's a track record, a lot of folks will say this is a history of someone, or this is, I use the term a track record. If somebody has a track record of doing things for advantages, but those advantages are only for to the detriment of others, then I could say, okay, well, this is who they are. So anytime that I encounter them, I'll know that I'll have to be on guard by saying, look, are you going to change your race this time like you did with Whoopi Goldberg at the behest of my destruction? Or are you going to change your name or whatever? It really makes me, when I hear the individuals like what happened yesterday, I kind of laugh at them because I know that their days are numbered. And there's a really good article. If you go down deeper, it's called How These Small Hats Stole Thomas Edison's Motion Picture Invention. And basically what they did is they took, I guess they took one, I'll just give you a little bit of it. It says Thomas Edison was the greatest inventor who ever lived, which he really wasn't. He stole a lot of stuff. But it said over 2,000 inventions patented. Again, a lot of it was patented by black folks. But anyways, including the electric light, phonograph, motion picture machine, quote unquote. It says in 1903, the four Warner brothers bought a used Edison kinescope projector for $1,000 and repaired it. They began showing what they called the quote-unquote magic lantern pictures on the walls in beer halls. In 1909, Edison's General Film Company sued Warner Brothers for violating their copyright to the motion picture machine and forced them to close their company. At the time, the Warners and others, these small hats, were making illegal films in Brooklyn. They fled Edison's private detectives for Los Angeles, where lax laws let them steal the film business away from Edison. Later, the same skullduggery occurred once again. Two Christian inventors, Lee D. Forrest and Theodore Case, came up with the quote-unquote talking machine sound system. So the thing is, there's a history or a track record of individuals doing certain things, and so therefore, it doesn't really make me. I'm not surprised. Okay, I'm not surprised when I see the things that anything that they come up with, whether it's what they did to Nick Cannon or Whoopi Goldberg. I'm not surprised. What I'm surprised is a lot of our folks as Africans not going ahead and doing just the basic simple research like I did here. And then saying when we encounter incidents like that, to stand our ground and say, well, I don't care what you want to take. You could take the so-called, a Wild 'N Out show or The View or whatever, but I'm going to stand my ground because I know who you guys are. Okay, the devil will only hide so much. Sooner or later, it's Monday and it's wash day, and everyone will know because back in the 1930s, they called it Kristallnacht. And they figured it out then, and of course, they had to take care of what they had to take care of. The thing is I'm really surprised that our folks that don't have the ability to and a lot of it is cowardice, Brother Forecast. It's really being scared to actually stand up and say what's right and what's justice and what is real. So we'll go ahead and cower and say, well, I didn't mean to say this, or I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, because we need that so-called job, we need that so-called street cred or those credentials or our so-called celebrity career, whatever it is. And no statement, I would rather die standing than to live on my knees. We've been living on our knees because of this. Do your research on how MGM became what it was, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. The reason they became what they were is because of another Jew who was an Irish by the name of Thomas Dartmouth Rice, the so-called Ethiopian delineator, and he created this thing called blackface, and everybody should know the story about that, about jumping Jim Crow. Well, when Birth of a Nation came out, what had happened was, again, another devil who created Birth of a Nation, he had the distribution rights for it was for MGM. And that's how MGM became the conglomerate they are right now, because they were like, wow, if we could go ahead and take this, Jewish-inspired Birth of a Nation that, thousands of black folks were marginalized and killed because of it, we could distribute that and make all kinds of gang loads of money. Now, all of a sudden, when I see black folks walk into an MGM casino, I just say, do they realize what they're supporting? The deaths of our people and the exploitation, and the individuals who did it are the same ones that I just previously said that just changed their names for their advantage. So yeah, just that's something that guy last night would never really, and I understand that because it's like trying to talk to a roach. I can't let a roach understand or conceive or have any rational thought. I just sit there and all I know is they come into our circles to infect and to dirty our things up. But anyways, I'm gonna pass the mic to you on that one, Brother Forecast. I just wanted to put that out there.
MD2, I didn't know that with the distribution thing. That's crazy, bro. And also with the pattern thing, like, yo, that sounds a lot like Christopher Colon, Christopher Columbus, as they call him now. You know what I'm saying? They changed the name for the greed thing, and that was what, 400 years ago or 600 years ago. So I mean, yeah, it's a repetitive thing that seems to keep happening, my brother. And let me say this, I'm not particularly, because I'm not telling say, oh, we should only stick to these people. But you know what? Like MG2, I'm not gonna lie, like, and I understand what you're saying, but it just pains me to see when black people have to apologize, and how dare they try to open their mouth to us and try to say, oh, you owe us an apology, and we being racist to them after everything that they did. You know what I'm saying? They need to keep their mouth closed, and the dude don't have no business speaking on no kind of issue until he ready to kick up some of those reparations money. Other than that, and even then, I don't care what he got to say, but other than that, you don't got no business around me. And I get tired of that arrogance that they all got an arrogance, but they have a particular arrogance that I don't like. And yeah, I'm gonna speak on them every single time, because they seem to have this thing where you can't speak on them. They shut down my brother Guy channel midstream yesterday. And we know who controls this Polish kike bitch who keep giving me strikes for no reason, talking about doing stuff, you know what I'm saying? But they can spread out whatever propaganda they want about everybody else. You understand? So I have a problem, and I'm gonna always call them out, and they need to keep their mouth closed about black people. Even if the black person is cool, I'm gonna still come at them because they need to keep their mouth closed. You know what I'm saying? I got a problem with them. And all of them, you know what I'm saying, equally. But I don't leave them out just like they think they special or something. Nah, you ain't special. But yeah, Pelage, so yeah, you kind of got better feel of the topic. Do you want to say something about that? Because we can go on to the next thing and you can still go on and say what you was gonna say.
We can go on, man.
All right, MG2, you had something to say about the topic?
Yeah, just to kind of wrap it up for myself. The thing that I said, and I'm gonna reiterate, is you could either stand dying or lie and live on your knees. And the fact that I expect them to be arrogant, I expect them to be condescending, I expect them to be conniving and shysters, I expect them to be murderous and degenerate. The thing that it's unfortunate is because of our cowardice, the inability for us to stand up and tell them, look, for lack of a better term, to give the impression that their bodies would be better as fertilizing our gardens. For us not to be able to stand up as human beings and stamp down those who've done what they did to us, and especially these small hats, that right there is all I could say is until we stand up, then not only will the conversations like this will increase, but unfortunately, it'll only get worse. And I fear to imagine how bad it's going to get. So all I could say is, if you're listening, if you're Black, African, or whatever, you might want to start standing up and do whatever whatever Whoopi Goldberg and Nick Cannon did, you want to do the opposite. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic on that one, Brother Forecast.
Yo,
Hey,
go ahead,
hey, Brad Focus. I just want to add to what MG2 just said. That's actually I agree with him 100%. We do need to stand up, and I don't want to I do agree with him. I just a lot of us want to change. You know what I'm saying though, and a lot of us are it's just mentally, I feel in a way it's worse than and being in the plantation, man, because our brain, we've been so brainwashed too, and we've been the trauma. And so for me, even my father, for an example, is he talked very afraid, but I'm not like that. And you can see it with in our community, how we talked. And again, it's gonna have to be up to some of us. Like I said, I say this before, Forecast, I say this so many times on your channel. Some of us are not gonna make it, some of us is gonna have to take sacrifice and in death. That's what it's, and I yield the mic.
Oh no, you good, Pledge. You good. You can say whatever you want, my brother. You good. Look, because what'd you say?
Oh, I didn't say anything else.
Okay. Well, yeah, I agree with you and MG2. And MG2 just made a great point. You know what I'm saying? It's cowardice. And me and Bakari talk about this. We can go on other channels and say the N-word and go on there, diss other Black people and have all this smoke for other Black people. But if we talk about another group, oh Lord, please don't say nothing about them. My channel might get taken down. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? Other groups put consequences with all of this stuff. Now we do, you know what I'm saying? We talk about the Black on Black crime and all of this stuff, but we don't see other groups facing consequences when they come to harm us. And one of the reasons why I would use my channel for these reasons, and again, make sure y'all subscribe to my other channel, the Forecast Radio 24, if they take it all. But even if they do that, it don't really matter. We working on building Ben's platform so we can get up off of platforms like this, because these are the same group of people who are running these platforms, and people are so scared to talk about them. But I think, especially for young children, we need to see more examples of especially black men willing to step up, especially against other groups. You know what I'm saying? And I have no issue with people doing it against other black people and nothing like that. That's not my issue. But my issue is we need a lot more black men willing to step up and face other groups, you know what I'm saying? And actually bring the smoke, not be afraid to say what you want to say, not go out there on an apology tour. And we need more examples of us doing that. And if we got to be the only ones doing that, then we need to do it a whole lot more. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree with MD2 100%. And I agree with you, Pelej. You know, we is a cowardice thing. We are afraid to call out these other groups. Whoopi Goldberg immediately apologized, even though she wasn't wrong. Nick Cannon went on an apology tour, and even with other groups like the LBG, whatever, you know what I'm saying? The Baby had to go on an immediate apology tour, but he can say N word in his raps every single day, you know what I'm saying? And everybody gonna be in the crowd singing it, including those white kids. But the minute Jadakiss said, "Oh, I stack chips like Hebrews," which is a compliment, they take it out the track, you know what I'm saying? They come at even Michael Jackson. And then on top of that, then you have people like we was talking about Bob Arum and all of these people, and Erica put it in the chat last time. Even people like Michael Jackson warned about these people and how they control the music industry. And now we look at what rap has become. It went from F the Police to, you know, everything is an N-word, and they talk about this drill music stuff and everything that's going on. Who you think is controlling the music industry? You know what I'm saying? When we was talking about the black people having a distribution deal or whatever, you know, 50 Cent was like, he didn't want Ja Rule to have more power than him because that was his enemy. But I don't care if Jimmy Iovine had more power than me, you know what I'm saying? Or the group with NWA, they broke up arguing with each other. But, you know, the Jewish manager who was robbing them blind, you know what I'm saying? That's cool, you know? We have to start having the smoke with everybody else, but you know what I'm saying? But anyway, Pelez, you want to say something before we go to the next one?
Yeah, like you said, my brother, we have this smoke for everybody. I mean, we do. It's just like if one of melanated brothers and sisters say something to us, man, it's war. You know what I mean? And we just, like I said, I don't understand it. I do not understand it, man. And like you said about Nick Cannon and Whoopi Goldberg, they said nothing wrong whatsoever. And again, it's the whole, you know, the apology tour. And like I said, though, it's really sad. And at the end of the day, some of those people, we don't want them, you know, around us, and we can't have them because we're gonna be compromised, you know. Like we don't need to explain to other race that we non-threatening to, you know, to them. They know we're not, you know, they know we're not. But the thing is, though, let's implement that dominance we have on the basketball court, we have on the track, you know, and the relays, you know, and the football and anything. Let's do it like as a group, like let's do it and like running in a country. You know what I mean? Though that's what we need to do. I pass the mic.
All right, yeah, facts, my brother. And so Pelez, look, I already know that you know, but the truth is, my brother, we have no friends. Like we are all we got. And I just don't just say that just because it's catchy or nothing. It's the truth, you know. We are all we got. Yeah, we think we have all of these allies and friends, and every other week is, oh, black in this, black in that, black in this, black in that. But you know, now going to the last thing, the last screen share I'm gonna show y'all. You know, and I'm pretty sure y'all saw the what happened with that white bitch Kim Potter or whatever the hell her name is, and the sentence that she got. So I want to show y'all what this judge was on there saying or whatever. And you know, I want to show you what these people, these oppressed people around the world, and all of these allies and our friends who we got to have this allegiance with, how they feel about us. You know what I'm saying? So let me go ahead to this last screen share. All right. I should have pulled him up first, but so let's listen to the sentence that she gave this white girl, white bitch.
Ms. Potter, will you please rise? Given all these considerations and having carefully...
Look how soft she talking. It's like, you know, she the model minority. She don't want to offend the white woman. Miss Potter, can you please rise? And then keeping her eyes to the ground. You better not offend this white woman.
That's right.
Asian judge stuff away. Just listen to how soft she talking. You know what I'm saying? And how delicate she trying to be. She better not offend this white bitch.
Right, right.
Will you please rise? Given all these considerations and having carefully considered the comments of the family of both Daunte Wright and the comments of Kimberly Potter, as well as the arguments of counsel, it is the sentence and judgment of this court that you shall be committed to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 24 months. You shall serve 2/3 of that time, or 16 months in prison, and 1/3 on supervised release, assuming no disciplinary offenses or conditional release violations. You have credit for 58 days already served. Restitution will be reserved. There'll be a fine of $1,000 and a surcharge of $78 to be taken out of prison wages or due within 180 days. You must provide a DNA sample. You may not use or possess any firearms, ammunition, or explosives. You have the right to appeal the conviction and sentence. If you are unable to pay the cost of an appeal, you may apply for leave to appeal at state expense by contacting the state public defender. You may be seated, Ms. Potter.
You may be seated, Miss Potter. Now she gave her 16 months, which is a year and 4 months. You know what I'm saying? Just look how soft she was talking, and she realized, you know, she better not, her voice damn near trembling. She better not offend this white woman. But I want y'all to see her explanation of why she went against the recommended stuff and even gave her even less sentence, even though, you know, the family is hurt and pissed off about it. So let's hear what this model minority has to say about it.
I'd like to make a few parting comments. I recognize there will be those who disagree with the sentence.
My bad, y'all.
That I granted a significant downward departure does not in any way diminish Daunte Wright's life. His life mattered. And to those who disagree and feel a longer prison sentence is appropriate, as difficult as it may be, please try to empathize with Ms. Potter's situation. As President Barack Obama once said.
Now, did you hear that? She said empathize with this murderer and then pulled out a black dude, or quote unquote black dude. Oh, as President Barack Obama. And let's hear the BS that she had to use. They always use a black dude when it comes to this. Just like when it comes to hate, they be like, oh, you're like Hitler. No, Hitler was like George Washington, like the rest of their psychopaths, just like this killer right here. But they got to pull out the black man.
As President Barack Obama once said, learning to stand in somebody else's shoes, to see through their eyes, that's how peace begins. And it's up to you to make that happen. Empathy is a quality of character that can change the world. Officer Kimberly Potter was trying to do the right thing. Of all the jobs in public service, police officers have the most difficult one. They must make snap decisions under tense, evolving, and ever-changing circumstances. They risk their lives every single day in public service. Officer Potter made a mistake that ended tragically.
And why the hell is the judge acting like she crying with not a single tear coming down her face? But how is that a biased judge that's crying on the stand? Can anybody tell me how is that?
She never intended to hurt anyone. Her conduct cries out for a sentence significantly below the guidelines. Okay, thank you.
Now, all right, Pelez, before you go in, bro, let me talk about this real quick. Now, it was a lot of things with this hitting this fake cry like, oh, her sentence, she shouldn't have done this. She might as well have got down there and gave her a hug or something, her damn self. You know what I'm saying? Now she was now here you have this killer, somebody who killed somebody, right? Somebody who showed no empathy. She's telling you to have empathy for this killer, not telling the killer to have empathy for the person that she killed, right? She's saying, look at it through her eyes. She had to deal with the Negro. Any of us would have pulled the gun and shot this Negro down. I hate to even have to give her the two. She didn't deserve any time. That's basically what she was saying. And this is your ally here. And then she pull out Barack Obama, but this will be the same person who's telling you people of color. This will be the person telling you about minorities. Oh, these minorities programs work, because blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? These are the same people benefiting from those civil rights of 1964 and affirmative action, because not only is she a woman, she's a chink. And she wouldn't be able to be a judge if it wasn't for Black people getting bit in their private parts by dogs. And then she says Barack Obama to justify giving her a sentence well below the guidelines while crying, not a single tear coming down her face. That's what I'm trying to tell you about your friends that we seem to have. So we went through the Jewish people, and now we see these people, your allies, your friends, depressed people around the world. She better not say nothing to that white girl, that white bitch. Or guess what? She losing her job too. But guess what? Cut affirmative action. You're right. Because I don't see Black men benefiting from it. So go ahead and cut it, because she don't need to be no damn judge anyway. This lady sitting here telling us to have sympathy. This chink telling us to have sympathy for this white bitch who she idolized, and her voice cracking and all of that. How are you a fair, biased judge if that's the case? But anyway, hey, Pelez, Bakari just came on. You good, my brother?
Yeah, man. What's up, Pelez?
What's up, Bakari? Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. Do you want to start talking? Go ahead.
You know what, man? Forecast power to all the oppressed people,
like,
man.
You want to talk about the last topic and
power to all oppressed people, man.
Power to the people. What's going on?
Power
God,
to
please, God.
Black power for Black people, white power for white people, yellow power for yellow. Fuck that saying and whoever started it. Pardon my French. But
that was Fred Hampton.
That's how. Okay, and still to hell with that saying. Fred Hampton was a good man, but obviously he made some that was the Black Panthers, he didn't just start that himself. But I ain't mad at him. But if we haven't figured out by now that it's time to stop reaching your hand out, thinking these people your friends, and you constantly get it cut off. Hurry up and buy. That's what your allies tell you when you're going. Hurry up and buy.
or your ally will shoot you in your head, but you want them to have power. They would shoot your little 14-year-old daughter in the head in the corner store because she had something in her hand, and I thought she might walk out the store with it. I thought she might steal it. That Korean woman got 20 years probation. That's it. That's it. But we think we have allies. I did a show about that. It was called The Myth of Having Allies. We don't have none. If we can't look in the mirror and understand that we are our only friend, that we are our only ally, something is wrong with us. We steadily reach out to the same people. And I know people like to say, well, you know, we got some white allies. Some want to see it stop. What are they doing to make it stop? Some want to see stuff to get better. See, they come march with us. Well, they march with y'all because I ain't going out there marching, holding up no damn sign. What is that doing? We still using the 1950 strategy. To hell with them. And the family, that judge or any judge that would need the head cut off. And I ain't trying to get your channel shut down, Forecast. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I'm on the blacklist, Bakari.
Huh?
I'm on the blacklist, my brother. The white list, my brother.
Yep. You know, but for some strange reason, like Dr. Barbara Sizemore say, black people still don't get it. What would make her an ally? Oh, that she's people of color. Everybody got color. She's melanated. Everybody got melanin. We are so scared to separate ourselves from other people that we use so many broad, ambiguous terms because we feel we need those people to be our friends. Don't care how much they show you they're not. You might have a personal relationship with them, but as the group, that person ain't gonna care about the group. You might have a business relationship with them, but outside of that, you leave it at that. Stop trying to make like these people care. They're not our people, and they constantly show you they're not your people. None of these bastards. I get it, Mike.
All right, Pelez, hey, go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, man. Well, I gotta. I mean, I know what the answer is gonna be. I gotta ask my brother Bakari and Focus. Let's just reverse that color on the. Let's just say if the cops was white, would that judge have that same apathy and her voice was like cracking and all? How about that passionate things? I want to hear what you have to say, brother Bakari and Focus.
You saying would she do what now if who was white?
Yeah, if the cop was white who accidentally shot, somebody that was white or Asian.
I don't know. Probably, she can't speak out against white. She'll be like, it's a tragedy on all sides,
No, I don't think you understand what I was saying, Focus.
No, if there was an Asian, no, I don't think she would have been as sympathetic to that cop if there was an Asian.
Right.
When they were trying to put this Asian cop in jail in New York for shooting the black dude sitting on the steps inside the building, he just walked in and go to shoot. Shit, them up went to the president. Shit, if they went to Obama, they told Obama, them fake politicians, they didn't march in on street. Shit, if he was white, he wouldn't go to jail. That Asian cop got like 8 years probation.
Yeah. Well, the reason I was asking, I was like playing hypothetical. We all know, and in New Orleans, I don't know when did that happen exactly. There was this guy and his son. He was resisting arrest. Long story short, the police, they feared for their life. They end up shooting, they at the car and killing a 6-year-old that was in the car. I believe one of the cops was Mexican, the other guy was black. So they convict both of the cops, and of course the white person did not get in trouble. So to me, in my opinion, I would say black people stop join police and stop, join the armed forces because they don't respect you. Okay. And that's what it is. Again, I agree with you, brother Bakari. We have no friends. Dr. Henry Clark says we have no friends. And like you say, like Barbara Sizemore said, we still don't get it. And that's, like I said, though, man, I was born, man, into Christianity. I was born into that, bro. And when I see my people willingly praising Jesus, and it hurts me, you know? And then, like, you know, they don't have the wherewithal to understand that was forced on us. You know, I don't hate my people. It's just like, let's get it together. Okay. I you know, I'm gonna yield the mic. I'm sure I'll probably like do like a little quick rebuttal of someone's, but go ahead.
Okay, yeah, MG2, back on here. What's going on, MG2?
Yeah, I have to say, I don't know if you guys are aware that the Oscars are this month, and I put it up in the chat, and I think I might be wrong. They need a new category for judges like this, because her pretending to cry was probably one of the best performances, you know, that I've seen all year in terms of, you know, her so-called sympathy. The case that my brother previously was talking about, that Pledge was talking about, was Derek Stafford. And, you know, basically, this Peckerwood down in New Orleans led the police on a 2-mile chase and had his little 6-year-old Spawn in the car, and, you know, and attempted to go ahead and, I think, either run the cops over or might have had a gun. And Derek Stafford, being a New Orleans brother, a cop, decided, hey, you know, I'm not gonna die today. But it didn't matter. They said that you shot somebody that did not look like you. It looked like one of us. And now he is presently doing 40 years with no parole. And 40 years for manslaughter with no parole. So that it tells you exactly the kind of sympathy that, you know, those that, you know, in other words, they do not show sympathy when it does not look like them. But when, you know, again, the little, you know, Stephanie Shue or whatever that so-called judge's name was, she's looking at her kin. Those are cousins. Okay, they're not African. They're cousins. So I expect them to do whatever they do. I expect them to act the way that they act. I would just hope, and I can't say we're gonna have to. We got it, this and that and the other. I'm just saying I hope that we, as an African people, as a collective, can start taking this as a clue. I don't care how we get a clue. If we could get a clue by somebody WhatsApping us a clue, we could get somebody to blink it up like Adrian Magini, grow it out of a pot of clay or whatever. But whatever we can do to get a clue, that, as Brother Bakari said, we're all we got. And anytime that they put so-called rules on us, those are rules that do not matter to us. We should not look at their rules of anything to follow. Their mandates, their rules, their dictates, their doctrine, their protocols, their laws, those were only there to try to corral us into their society. It is up to us to say we're not going to be corralled. I'm going to pass the mic on that one.
Hey, MG2, I got a question for you. Hey, do you remember the 1/16th law?
I'm sorry, the what?
The 1/16th law that you guys brought up on your show?
I can't remember.
It was like, you know, they paid for their lives with the Civil War. Oh, well, you know. Anyway.
I hear that too many times.
Huh?
You're talking about when Peckerwood?
Yeah, you had said you had did a show a while ago, and I was going. It ain't got nothing to do with this. I was just gonna name the show the 1/16th law. Like you,
well,
like
I talked about 1/5 law.
Huh?
The 1/5 law.
No.
Or the 3/5. Excuse me, 3/5.
No. It was the 1/16th law. It was something that was that needs to be created. Remember when the dude was like in the Civil War, they like 700 some people died, and that was your reparations. And then you did the math, and you was like, oh, that's just 1/16th. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes, man, that was a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I could go in forever on that.
Just like real quick, just a brief summary of it, real quick. You know.
Oh, it's going to take me a while to try to get back to that, but basically,
okay.
When we talk, and did I talk about the enslavement of Africans?
No, well, he was he was like 700 and some thousand. Then you was like, no, the actual number is like he was like 100 and some million people. So you have a lot more
Yeah, well,
people to
that's
pay.
yeah. Well, see, yeah, this is the thing. When they talk about Africans, they say that 12 million of us were enslaved. What they do, and this is what the so-called Jews do. You got to be again, peep their game. What they try to do is they try to tell you in terms of to minimize what happened to us and to overinflate whatever happened to them. So they'll say 6 million Jews, this and that, or they'll say 750 whites died for which is actually they did not die to free Africans, and 6 million so-called Jews did not die. But they will overinflate those numbers so that way they can go ahead and minimalize to make it look like, well, we're all the oppressed Olympics. So you guys didn't have it that bad. But let me tell you guys something. This is what happened to Africans. And when I was talking about the term of the fraction, over 156 million were in the transatlantic quote unquote slave trade. 156 million documented that they could find that they depleted the African continent of bodies. Now, if you do more research, you'll find out upwards of almost 220 million of us were taken. Now, here's the thing: if you do 8th grade math, it's very simple. Just you could go back to 8th grade and just and get like some crayons and a little calculator, and you'll figure it out. When you start at the numbers, if it's 12 million, you got to remember at the minimum, 87% did not make it. Okay, 87% did not make it. So that tells you that leaves you with 13% of those that are left to 12 million. So all you got to do is just work your way back, and you'll get upwards of And actually, if you really want, and that's the minimal. Actually, it was more like 96% did not make it, and that's 12 million. And 90% or 96% did not make it. That tells you how many that were killed. And when I did the math, it's actually Dr. Amalamuke Baruti, or Professor Baruti, who is over there in Atlanta, and I've been following him for over 2 decades, and he just basically said, look, just go, and this is from their logs, from what logs they could find. They started out, and then what happened is they lost going in the coffle lines. They lost 4 out of 5 walking in the coffle lines from the interior of Africa just to get to the coast. They lost 1 out of 3 in the dungeons that were there. They're not castles, they were dungeons. They lost 2 out of the 3 on the ships. Okay? And just by doing simple math, and actually it was more like 4 out of 5 died on those ships. Okay? And it was more like 4 out of 5 died in those dungeons. Then they also had dungeons. They weren't as proliferated as they were in Africa, but they also had holding pens where you lost 1 out of 3 in the United States when our family got here. So when you're doing this math, when they talk about, 750,000 Americans died for the Civil War, 750,000 compared to 220 million, that's like a drop in the bucket. Okay, in other words, we got a lot of killing to do. Okay, in order to go ahead, if we are Africans and we look at those judges like that Korean or Mrs. Chu or whatever her name is, her neck should be cut. Okay, I mean, I don't care. I think that's Minnesota. I'm surprised how many of us aren't looking at how many folks we need to kill, because 750,000. When I did the math on that, take 750,000 or divide 220 million by 750,000, and they would have to die in their so-called civil war every day since the birth of Christ in order to get to kind of where we're at. Okay, so it's like, I'm just trying to tell you that for us to be as scared as we are as Africans, we got some problems. And the only way we're going to fix these problems is Dr. Bobby E. Wright, who's a brilliant psychologist, said, blood debts can only be repaid and must be repaid in blood. And if you want reparations, that's a good place to start. So I think that's what you were talking about, Brother Forecast. I'll go ahead and pass the mic on that.
It was like that, yeah. And then because you were saying, imagine if you, I don't know if you remember this part. He was like, imagine, and I'm sorry, I know it might seem left field or whatever, and but anyway, you was like, now imagine if you pay 1/16 of your debt to somebody, you know what I'm saying? And it's funny, right? Because on one of the trolls that always come in, he was like, oh, y'all never talk about like the black dude that ran into all of those people in that parade or whatever the hell they was doing. You know what I'm saying, and killed them and stuff. He was like, y'all don't condemn them. And Bakari was like, what you say, Bakari?
I said he's a hero.
But yo, the 1/16 law. So he was like, yo, so imagine if you paid your light bill and said, okay, yeah, I only got 1/16 of my debt this month. You know what I'm saying? What they gonna do? They gonna shut your power off. So he's saying if this was your way to repay your debt, you know what I'm saying, you own it. Or either the 1/16th law, where we only pay 1/16th of our bill, you know what I'm saying? If that's how they
I
want to
know you're
play
saying,
it, you know what I'm saying? So, you
yeah,
know,
brother. I'm sorry to interrupt. I think I remember the one of the videos, and I think it was when Miriam, what's her name, Miriam, whatever, that said black folks should get 500 billion for reparations, and we can call it a day.
mm-hmm.
And I think that was when she was running for office, and she was a Democrat and trying to tell our folks that, yeah, this is a place for reparations. And I was like, I would like to go ahead and pay like nickels for my light bill and my house bill, because if that's the debt you guys are going to pay, well then damn, I'll go ahead and do the same thing, and we'll see how far we both get. In other words, if they don't let me do that, then I have the ability to cut a throat. And I don't think my house note or my lecture bill let me pay a couple of pennies on it.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and pass the mic on that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Look, like, and I'm basically, to bring it back around, you know what I'm saying, not to go left field. I'm gonna let Pelage and then Bakari go in, but like, it's time for us to start making these people actually pay their debts and stop getting away with stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, like, nobody else is gonna accept the stuff that we accept from other people. Like this, like, they really feel like they can lecture us. Like, dudes try to come on and talk over everybody, like, oh, I'm not gonna let you say that. Like, who do you think you are where you can let anybody do anything? But guess what? We allow other people into our circles. We allow them to do whatever, and we never punish them. We don't make them pay no debts. You know what I'm saying? And God forbid. And guess who that white bitch? Oh, that Ching bitch. Even though it's her cousin, she knows she better not get out of too much line. But MG2 is right. That's her cousin. That's what they do. How much do we have to see this? You know what I'm saying? So if y'all ever see a show called The 1/16th Law, I just had to ask MG2 that while he was here. So I'm sorry, y'all, but go ahead, Pelage.
Now, yeah, that's all right, man. So another thing I want to ask y'all. I don't think that judge, in my opinion, is pulling the string, though she is like handing out this sentence. In my opinion, I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. There's, somebody back there, in the back door saying, like, this is what, I don't know who they report to, the judge, who they report to, this is what you're going to say. This is the sentence. And this is, we're going to write your written statement. What do you guys think?
Bakari, MG2.
She may not be the one pulling the strings, but they're all working together.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
See, watch this. Remember the Somalian brother in Minnesota that killed a white girl that come out there jumping up and down on his car, acting all
Muhammad Noor. She scared him, and he feared for his life. I remember.
Yeah, he got like 12 years or something like that.
Yep.
They just stick together. They gonna stick, and it's sad, but I'm gonna be honest right here. They stick together, we don't.
Yes. You're right, brother Bakari. You're right. Well, listen, one of these days, I know, brother Focus, Bakari, brother Bakari, and then MG2. I hope one of these days we get together. But I just, man, I do not want, my family, like 100 years from now, 300 years from now, 10,000 years from now, having the same conversation we're having, like I said, though, man, we are dominant. Okay. We are, even like I said, though, genetically, we have the power to annihilate everybody from the face of the earth. That's just, that's a problem for, we are a problem, regardless if you violent or non-violent. Okay. What did they, how dare her, saying like, well, Barack Obama, no, Barack Obama is a white supremacist, on a brown skin. I mean, you guys know that. Also, Martin Luther King, okay, He was like a Christian guy, nonviolent. What did they do for him? They put a bullet in his head. You know, Malcolm X, who was, he's a nonviolent guy, but yeah, he didn't commit any crimes. A bullet to his head. I mean, the thing is though, the audacity, the gall that people have to say like, oh, black people are they are the thieves, they are the druggies. You know, where are those black people getting those drugs from? Where are they getting those drugs from? You know, they are a bunch of thugs. Where? I mean, like bunch of thieves. No. Actually, sir, ma'am, you guys are like robbing and raping, you know, the island of Hispaniola, you know, Haiti. Okay, you guys are like the biggest drug dealers. You guys are the biggest thieves. You know, I could go on and on and on. You know, I could focus, but I'm gonna pass the mic.
My brother, I appreciate you, Pledge.
Oh yeah, yes,
you know
sir.
you good over here, my brother. You know you good. Bakari.
Go ahead, MG2. I heard you. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I thought
Okay.
that was you.
One thing that I want to let you guys know is anything that they do, and this is unfortunate that it happens to us as black folks, as Africans, everything that they do is to set precedent. And I did a whole video and a whole series on that about how they set precedent with their so-called rules, with their so-called political mandates, with their so-called military incursions, with their so-called, you know, the precedent that they set with that thing they call critical race theory, but they set precedent. And a lot of folks don't realize what that means. Is they're setting, it's to precede, for lack of a better term. It's like basically trying to set the stage for something that you're going to have to go ahead and adhere to for the rest of your life. You know, it's no different than what they did in the slave plantations. Okay, everything they do, and the reason that so-called judge, you know, Kimberly Chu or whatever her name is, you know, Wolfang Fee or whatever, the reason she did that was to set precedent. Why? She's auditioning, and keep in mind, most judges, so-called judges, are auditioning. They're career judges. Okay, they're auditioning for bigger roles. You know, like if you're auditioning for a role, you might have to take a lesser role, but you're going to do it the best you can. So that way you could go and maybe do a film with Brad Pitt. So the thing is it's no different in their so-called judicial system. It's always about setting precedent because they're always auditioning for better roles. When they do things, especially like what she did, or like, you know, that negress that decided to go ahead and hug the murderer of Bosham John, what happens there is they're looking for better gigs. And what I mean by that, because they're not going to retire on that bench. They're looking for superior court judgeships. They're looking for federal judgeships. They're looking for, you know, they're looking to go ahead and increase, maybe even go into politics. And I told folks about this a long time ago that the real government in the United States is not your so-called politician. Everybody, and unfortunately, black folks think that it is. When I do these videos and do these live streams, it's not to make folks feel good. It's to show you the dynamics of what's the substructure of what our enemy runs on, to the detriment of us as Africans. The real politics of United States is their judges, their courts. Those are the ones who set, make, and control, mandate, manipulate, and enforce laws. Okay, the laws that they create, which most of them, if not all, are to corral us, i.e. enslave us. So what she was doing, which a lot of folks didn't realize with the fake tears and everything else, was auditioning for probably a federal judgeship, or working in a Supreme Court judgeship. That's what they do. If you look at precedent, look at how what's her name, Brett Kavanaugh, and that other that little Becky, you know, that little what's that petri dish by the name? I can't remember her name, but she was the one that Trump picked. Look at what some of their rulings were and how they acted in the past, and you'll see that they set the stage for, you know, to audition for what they call Supreme Court judges. Look at what's happening now with Biden, you know, putting the wool over everyone's eyes by saying, "Well, I'm gonna pick a black woman." Yet, when you start seeing when they start to vote, and when they come back and she's not picked, that he'll be able to say, "Well, at least I tried." But look at her track record; she had to do certain things to audition for that gig. So it's no wonder you saw this, you know, the crocodile tears coming out of, out of Becky Wu, talking about, well, you know, the cops, because when she was, you got, again, precedent. She was not showing sympathy or any kind of allegiance to the young man that got killed. She was saying, look, I'm a law enforcement judge, and I'm here to go ahead because in order for them to accelerate from whether Superior Court judge to Supreme Court judge, They have to adhere to the so-called laws that have been oppressing us all the time. You'll never see anybody get into the so-called Supreme Court that ever has black folks' interest in mind. The last time that happened was Adam Clayton Powell, or was when no, I was going to say Thurgood Marshall, but he was really never on black folks' corner per se, as people think. But the thing is, if we start to think in those terms, I mean, and start to realize that the only governors that they have are not what you see in Texas, not Greg Abbott, not Brian Kemp. The real governors they have are those courts. And that judge knew it. So I'm going to pass the mic on that.
I'm Brother Bakari. Antoine de Mela.
Yeah, you know what, man? I ain't really much I can say. Person kid, you know what? He stole my thunder. There's really not much I can. There's really not much I can say in all honesty. Him and Pledge before him. They said it all. But I can say this, so there's something I can say because I'm gonna say this, right? When MG2 say they're setting a precedent, that's absolutely what they're doing. They're setting the precedent. What she did, that judge, when the police come out and they shoot you and kill you and you do nothing, it's like Darren, they're letting you know what their mind are and how they're thinking about you, and they daring you to do anything about it, letting you know this is ours and there's nothing you can do. Remember the story I told you forecast about how when the way the cop cussed out my daughter right there in front of me, right?
Yep.
As if I was nothing. I'm not there. That was him then setting this, showing what they are, who they are, right? But what he didn't expect was me telling him, I don't give a damn about you having a badge on. I will cut your fucking head off, you big fat white boy. That's what he didn't expect. So then all of a sudden things changed. Right? So then he want to turn on his camera and make like he's recording. And like I said, I told my daughter, come stand next to me. Because I understand what they're trying to do. But while they're trying to do what they want to do, I don't ever hardly say the word right. What said the precedence? You know what I'm trying to say. But as they're doing that, right? We have to let them know. We have to let them know who we are and what we're not going to take. What we're not going to accept. You understand? So they can do all that huffing and puffing and doing all that, saying they setting the stage, letting you know where you are. So when they go to set that stage to show you who they are, what are we going to do? Right? We steady looking to them. They showing you how they feel. So think about how many little black kids that big fat white cop had cursed out. You understand? Think about how many he had cursed out all week going to that carnival. But then he met me. So when they want to set and do what they want to do, so now we have to show them that we're going to do what we know how to do and that we can take care of ourselves. So the precedent been set. Black men ain't taking that BS, ain't taking that bullshit no more. You understand? So that's what we have to do. You understand? If they gonna meet you, you have to, if that's how they gonna come at you, that's just gonna be how we have to go at them. And when you weak, seem strong. That's what the book of I can't even think of the name of that book right now, The Art of War. When you're weak, don't let them know it. When you're strong, you can seem weak. But at that moment, I was strong. I didn't what happened out there. It was a lot of them out there. But you ain't gonna disrespect my child in front of me. And that's what we're gonna have to get to as a people. And I yield the mic.
Yeah, and Bakari, that's actually a beautiful segue, my brother. And I know I said that was the last screen share, but I forgot I had one more, and it's only a minute, so I'm gonna do this before we close out because I want to get y'all opinion on that. Because Bakari, you kind of did remind me of it too. So like while we got that beautiful segue there, I don't want to mess it up. But if y'all got something else to say on, it, I'm gonna let y'all do that too. But let me share my screen one last time, and this is just a quick video, but I want to get y'all brothers' opinion on this. All right, so I'm not sure if y'all seen this before, but let me play it. Hold on. Okay, let me stop sharing this so I can All right, my bad. Hold on, let me do it right. I'm trying to blow it up, but it's not working right. I'm trying to blow it up.
Oh shit!
Hey, can y'all see that?
I can see it.
Okay.
No, bro. Chill. Brian, get out. Brian, leave. Holy shit.
Nah, nigga, what the
Holy shit. Oh no.
Not a white boy standing over top of him and shit.
Yo, it's because he's black. Racially motivated.
Now, I don't know if y'all seen that. They got these two boys got into a fight, and look who the police came and look how they handled each one of these people. Y'all tell me
Brian,
the
get
damn
out.
difference.
Brian, leave. Holy shit.
Nah, nigga, what the
Holy shit. Oh no. Holy fuck. Yo, it says he's black. Racially motivated.
All right, so before we close out, I just wanted to show that video and get y'all brothers' opinion on that video. So yeah, what do y'all brothers think? Well, either one of y'all, I guess Pelage or whatever. Did you see it, Brother Supremacy? I'll play it again if you want after they speak or whatever. So I'll go ahead, Pelage.
Well, I'm not surprised. And so even you can tell like there's other people, there's like some white girls like saying like because it's black. We all know that. Well, first off, I feel like we are on point, and it's okay to disagree, I guess, with each other. But I feel like we've been on point here tonight. Again, I believe once we let go all the fears, we're ready to get down to business, protect our children and protect ourselves and our children, our friends and family. It's game over. I'm gonna yield the mic because I'm not gonna be long-winded.
You good, my brother.
It's tired of y'all saying he's long-winded.
I didn't mean it like that. You can get your thoughts out, Belez. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, sometimes it do be like 12 minutes and stuff like that.
It's all good, brother. It's all good.
Nah, you good though. I want you to express yourself, my brother. I don't want you to take that the wrong way or I'm trying to silence you. I want you to put all your opinions out there.
Nah, no, you're good, man. Like I said, man. I love my people. And again, I'm sorry to repeat myself about Dr. Henry Clark. We've got no friends. Dr. Susan Sizemore, like Barbara Sizemore, we still, you know, Black people don't get it. We still don't get it. You know, I believe, oh, this is the thing I wanted to ask y'all. The Olympic controversy, which, you know, involved with Sha'Carri Richardson and the 15-year-old, you know, girl, Russian skating girl. Yeah. I would say, for me, I don't think Black people should join the Olympics.
Wait, hold on, Pelez, hold on, because you can ask that question to them. But I want them to kind of comment on that, and then we're gonna let you ask that before we wrap it up.
Okay, cool. Okay, I yield it.
Yeah, unlike my brother Pledge, I am eternally long-winded. I love being long-winded. I grew up that way. I have to, and I'm gonna take some credit. I haven't done this in a long time, but when that happened, Brother Forecast, I actually was the first one on social media to post it. When that event happened, and I posted it the next day. I talked about it the night before and posted it that day because I saw it on an overnight newscast, and it wasn't anywhere on social media. So I went ahead and posted it and talked about Black history takes another L. And I was talking about what happened within this month. You know, it started out with Whoopi Goldberg, then Amir Locke, then what happened with this brother. But then I also talked about the warriors, the ones who actually made Black history, like Mark Essex, Colin Ferguson, you know, Makai Johnson, and you know, and Brother Bakari inspired me with that. Because the thing is we did take an L. Theoretically, we took an L. You know, I talked about Dante Wright because a lot of this happened at the same time. Nobody would have seen it. I won't say nobody would have seen it, but it wasn't getting attention that night. When I saw it, I was like, why is the world not showing this? Because I want us to see exactly the world we live in. As Pledge said, we're joining their so-called Olympics. We're joining their so-called, or trying to, you know, be a part of a society that clearly we have no friends, as Dr. John Henrik Clarke said. And a lot of folks are talking about what happened with Sha'Carri Richardson, but I rarely hear anybody talk about Blessing Okagbera. I think that's her name. She's Nigerian. And they banned her just yesterday for 10 years. They said she was doping at the Tokyo Olympics. She had basically, I believe, the same thing that so-called Russian, yet they're showing sympathy to that so-called Russian. They're not talking about Blessing.
I'm sorry, what's her name?
Sorry?
What's her
Blessing
name?
Okagbera, I think it's Okagbere, I think. And they're saying that she, that you know, this Olympian, you know, they said it's a 10-year ban from the Olympics. Yet that and it's Nigerian, I think a Nigerian runner, but yet, you know, they finally found it out. They said, I believe it was the Tokyo Olympics, and said that, you know, she was taking illegal drugs or something of that nature. But this is what they do. Okay, this is who they are, and this is their so-called mechanism, their so-called societal system, their so-called rules and games or whatever. And hopefully, I can't say we have to this and that. I'm just asking. I'm almost ready to beg to say, look, isn't it about time for us to start thinking for self, doing for self, get back into the Chitlin circuit? So therefore, we're not always trying to be a part of a society we should never want to be a part of in the first place. Use their tools to build our own tools. Use their so-called weapons and their so-called military experience and political experience or medical experience to build our own. We've built a nation that literally hates us. It was us who built it, us who nurtured it, us who died for it. So we have the skills to do whatever we want. It's just, like I said, I'm almost ready to beg Black folk. Isn't it time for us to start really thinking that, you know, like trying to be mice that live in a snake den is not good for mice? I might be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. And one other thing, and I saw what Brother Supremacy was talking about in the chat, and I really appreciate what he put in there in terms of, you know, there needs to be a vigilante squad. A lot of folks don't remember what Dr. John Henrik Clarke said about these enemies that are killing us. And he was including cops, and in particular, when he said that. If any of you guys went back to the 90s and were listening to, you know, live to what these folks are saying, these brothers and sisters are saying, Dr. John Henrik Clarke said, this stuff will stop happening when they find that some of their folks, I'm going to just paraphrase him, when some of their folks are missing or something happened to them and nobody knows who did it, nobody knows how, but they do know why. And that's the vigilante squads. You know, what I mean by that is the mafia did it, or their mafia did it. Their so-called Iraqi terrorists did it. Their so-called, you name it. When somebody did something to them, and these individuals, whether it was a cop, a judge, a politician, or a president, didn't matter. That individual either ended up missing or dead. They knew why it happened, and they knew that they were not going to do whatever they did to make it happen again. Until we as Africans get out of that mode of cowardice, which we are, I got to be real, I ain't mad at us. I love us. I love black folk more than breathing. But I got to say, when we get out of that mode of cowardice, and some of these individuals like George Zimmerman or Karen or Amber Geiger or this Potter, this whatever her name is, when they start missing, and their families start missing, and even their goldfish end up missing, and if they got some potted plants, those plants go missing too. When that happens, I tend to think, I might be wrong, I'm going out on a limb, so indulge me. I think that maybe somebody will get a clue, and you won't be seeing what's happening to us like it's happening much longer. Anyways, I want to tell you, brother forecasting guys, thank you so much. And I'm going to go ahead and listen offline. Hotep to the chat. Hotep to all of y'all. I'm going to pass the mic there.
Thank you, MG2. I appreciate you, my brother. Thanks for coming on. How you doing, Melanated Goddess? Hey, and by the way, that white bitch, Officer Betty Shelby too. That white bitch too. But go ahead, Bakari.
Well, MG2 gave some shouts out to some people we did the other day. We talked about his Black history. Well, Christopher Dorner, Michael Xavier Johnson, Gavin Long. I always forget Robert F. Williams. It might be Johnson. All the guys who did Negroes with guns. Those are some of the things that's going to happen. We can sit around and plot and scheme and plan on what we going to do to one another without getting caught, right? But we can't plot and scheme on what we going to do to other folks. Peace, Melanated Goddess. Everybody in the chat, because I don't even think I spoke. Sister Raw, Brother Supremacy, everybody, right? We can plot and scheme on how we going to do whatever. But when it comes to other people, our planning, our plotting, and our scheming to remain free, it just stops. You understand? It completely stops. We don't concern ourselves with it anymore. When it comes to power, we don't concern ourselves with power. We concern ourselves with trying to be a part. You understand? Someone has taught us it's okay to be killed. So let's brag on we built this country. You built the country with a gun at your head, whip on your back, and dog at your heels. But let's brag and say we built this country. And if we just say we built this country, it would be ours. Let's stop calling ourselves African Americans and say we're Black Americans. Let's completely forget our ancestors and white people may be okay with us. Let's continue to do something to make them okay. Let's continue to try and fit in. And as long as you don't fight back, as long as you don't even think about fighting back, you're fitting in. As long as you're only marching, you're fitting in. Holding up a sign, you're fitting in. Long as you can show how cowardly you are, you can vote in and you can make someone a hero. John Lewis, I got in good trouble, but you're a grown damn man. You can brag on how the police guy beat you in the head with his nightstick and crack your skull, and you get up and shake his hand and say, Mr. Officer, you're doing a good job. That's what he said happened. Huh?
Okay, we all just get along.
Yeah. But when every time we want to fight back, no, we shouldn't do that. No, we gonna get slaughtered. We're so defeated. Winning don't even come in your mind, because if it came out your mind, it could come out your mouth. So it don't come in your mind because it never, no, they'll slaughter us. No, it's too many of them. Well, they got this. Well, they got the National Guard. Give me 1,000 well-trained soldiers, and you can give me 10,000 people that's only in the National Guard. We'll stump a mud hole in them and walk them dry. They don't know a goddamn thing. Take that from somebody who was in the military. Who can tell you the National Guard don't know nothing? They only go to work 2 days a month. In them 2 days a month, if you ever talk to anybody there, they're gonna talk about how they hanging out and drinking at work. They don't know nothing. Not a damn thing. That's why they would leave them back. When everybody go to war, they're here to supposedly protect this country. If it ever came down to them country, this country is doomed. But if we don't change the way we are, because this country is doomed. Black people, we are doomed. They beat us and kill us, we beat us and kill us. But when we beat us and kill us, we fight back because we want to beat us and kill us. When they beat us and kill us, see, they just so racist. There's no need to be racist. Huh? Look how they did that young black man. Now, I don't know if his parents said or did anything, but I hope they did. Forecast, remember we was on the channel and these power to the everybody people, and they was talking about revolution. And we started discussing the county meetings. You understand what I'm saying? Do you remember that? And they were, and I'd say they was talking about telling black kids, don't put a hoodie on your head or your hands in your pocket. Do you remember that conversation? We was on those. I was on those other people's channel.
Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah, you were talking to them about your kid wearing a hoodie, and you stood up about it.
And I said, and I looked and I told both of my kids in that meeting, put your hood on your head. I wish one of y'all motherfuckers would touch my skin. It ain't against the law. It's gonna be some up in here. I wish somebody would touch my son or my daughter because they put their hood on their head because it's cold outside, because they put their hands in their pocket because it's cold outside. Don't walk in a store with your hands in your pocket. I stand up there. Don't walk in the damn store at all. Don't walk in the store with a hoodie on your head. Don't care how cold it is. Don't go in the store at all. Why do we put up with this nonsense? Why? Don't wear no hoodie in there. Don't do this. You can't carry no backpack in the store. You got to leave it at the register. Don't do this. But we put up with it and keep going. But then when it comes to us, we ready to fight. That's it, man. I yield the mic. Thank you for allowing me on your panel.
No, hold on. I'm gonna let everybody close out. I think Pelez wanted to ask a question, but let me say one thing real quick, and then I'm gonna let Pelez ask the question. We gonna answer it real quick, then wrap it up, because it's gonna be at 3 hours by then anyway. But let me say this. Never forget. Right now, right, those Europeans over in Ukraine is training their average citizens about how to defend themselves and how to arm themselves, and in case they get invaded, how to fight back. And they're training the average citizen how to fight back. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind when we talking about what other people is doing to us, because another group of people who is about to get invaded is arming themselves, and average citizens is preparing themselves to fight back. You know what I'm saying? Even though they may feel like, oh yeah, the U.S. got our back, but again, more white on white crime like we've been talking about all night. But Pelez, you want to ask that question? You can ask it if you want, but then we're gonna wrap it up. So,
all right. So my thing is, with all the mistreatment, that's been, Black people endure. We still, go to the Olympic and represent. My thing is, I know, Brother Bakari, I know if you have like an Olympian or something like that was awesome at swimming or track and field or basketball, I know you would probably have a conversation with your daughter or son and said, don't represent Africa or something like that. Represent Haiti, instead of the United States. I know that's what you might say that or something like that. But my thing is, when I listened to that and I thought about Sha'Carri Richardson, and I'm thinking to myself, like, why is she even like clapping back? Just keep your energy to yourself. When the Olympic comes, is it 2024 or something like that? Or 2020? Yeah. And in Paris, and just said, hey, I'm gonna be representing the continent of Africa, all the 54 countries. I don't know, sometimes 55 people say, but whatever. That would bring a shockwave. Their sponsorship, she wouldn't drop their sponsorship. They'll be behind her. But we need to start thinking like that and start fighting and start saying like, oh my gosh, you know, X, Y, and Z. So that's what I was trying to say. Okay. But go ahead.
Hey, Bakari, I'm gonna let Bakari answer it, then I'll answer it. But
Mhm.
hey, and I'm saying this kind of joking, so keep this in mind. But because Bakari did a show on this the other day, but are you saying Sha'Carri Richardson should just shut up and run?
No. I'm saying Sha'Carri should run, but Sha'Carri should not run for United States in the Olympics. She should be running for Africa or or Brazil, like the Caribbean, for Black people. That's all.
Yeah, I got you. I was kind of joking too when you said that. But Bakari, you want to answer that?
You know, Sha'Carri, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it in the famous words of y'all great economist, Boyce Watkins. Sha'Carri just need to shut up and run, man. Just shut up and run. What's she talking for? Just shut up and run. But you know, I did a show on that the other day. People listen to this black man. He's pro-black. He's strong. He can sit here and tell you if you got you a couple dollars, you're okay. Sha'Carri Richardson, what you talking back for? Even though Sha'Carri say I'm black before I'm an athlete, just shut up and run. Just shut up and run. You know, I did that the other day. Just shut up and run. Just shut up and dribble. Just shut up and run. Just shut up and dribble. Just shut up and run. Just shut up and dribble. What's the hell the difference? We had somebody, so you right. Go to find you an African country that the African people is proud to play for. Because we got these clowns over here. They would rather play for the United States than represent their country. Then go play with their own country. Bam Adebayo, however you say his name, played with the Miami Heat. Hakeem Olajuwon, who played with the Houston Rockets. I can probably name a few more. But if you look at the talent that came from that continent, look at Joel Embiid. Look at Joel Embiid and Pascal Siakam. They are both from Cameroon. Why aren't they playing with Cameroon to try and win a medal? They're both from Cameroon. They don't go back and represent their country. We don't have, look, I'm going to say this, then we don't take pride in anything unless white people recognize it. And it's just that simple. And I'll yield the mic.
All right, yeah. So hold on. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna answer you real quick, and then look, like yo, number one, I stand with Sha'Carri Richardson. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I got that sister back, and I don't like how she got treated. I don't like what people be saying about her. And that sister came on here and was like, yo, and let people know, because she always posts pro-black stuff all the time. She be like, yo, I'm black before I'm an athlete. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm black first, and I don't care what y'all do. I'm gonna always speak up for my people and my. You know what I'm saying? So I got Sha'Carri Richardson back regardless of what nobody else say. So like, let me say that first. But you know, to answer the question real quick, like yo, I always be talking about like black people ourselves. We need our own, like y'all know that we can have our own Olympic events. Like we like competing with each other and arguing and stuff like that. But if it really came down to it, like, you know, something that can build cohesion, like we can have Olympic events where we compete as black people all the way around the world as different things or whatever. And then when it comes to world, we team up together and go against the world, us versus the world. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I absolutely think that we all should be, yeah, exactly. I think we all should be representing ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like you have black people, Africans, or whatever, you know, we represent America, France, Germany, Belgium, China, you know what I'm saying, Spain, everywhere. Now imagine all of these top athletes in the same thing. Like we would crush them in every single field, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree with y'all. So let me say this real quick, because y'all want y'all to get all of this out, and then we're gonna close out. So I want y'all to close out, like, you know, not just close out, but say what you got to say on that, and then close out. Hey, Bakari, are you good? You got to go, or because I'll let Pleasure go, but if you got to go, I'll let you go ahead. Bakari.
You can go ahead and let Pledge go.
All right, yeah, Pledge. So go ahead, take your time, my brother. Hey, I appreciate you. And don't take it the wrong way, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah,
Talking about
go ahead and
Pledge,
get it
talking
all
about he
out.
don't want to be long-winded. That was funny.
Yeah, I don't want you to take it the wrong way, Pledge. You my brother, you already know that, and I appreciate all the support you always show, my brother. So, yo, take your time, and then, you know, say everything you got to say, Pledge, and then you know, close out. You know what I'm saying? Say your final words or whatever.
No problem, man. I love y'all, man. You know, you know, brother Bakari, man, I'm sorry. Whenever your live comes up, man, I don't want you to think I don't want to, like, you know, subscribe. It's just like I'm busy, man. I'm at work when you come on sometimes. And again, man, like, you know, you and Focus, you guys, you channels are very similar. And you know, you guys want the same thing for our people, man. You know, togetherness. We want, you know, we want you guys want both of you guys want our people to be on top, man. And I believe when we on top, man, and the world is gonna be a better place, because that's just how it is, man. Like, just like we when we went to Spain and civilized, you know, the Spain, we civilized everybody, man. We didn't enslave people. Again, it's not in our DNA to do that. You know, I mean, like, the world is at peace when we on top. Yeah, again, I don't understand why we are man, yeah, you I don't know who said it. Was it you, Focus, or was it Brad Bakari? If it's us versus the world in the Olympic, it would be over. Okay, over. Oh my gosh, man. I don't know. I just feel like I I don't know what is going to take at this point. You know, for us to, like, realize this is not a game anymore. This is not fun. This is, you know, when people trying to you know, like, trying to, like, compare apple to oranges, trying to compare, like, the Holocaust to the Black Holocaust. I mean, shit, like, there wasn't even, like, there's so many talks said, like, there wasn't even, like, 4 or 5, you know, like 2 million Jews that was, like, you know, was exterminated. They maybe like in the thousands, maybe like the 6 millions was made up. But, you know, if anybody wants to compare, you know, our struggle, our Holocaust to anybody's Holocaust, it's freaking insane. It's crazy. They're crazy. Okay. But you know, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not afraid. It's not. I want to, like, stop talking, but it's not. But I have a lot more to say. I don't know, man. Like, I love us as a people, and you know, Brother Bakari, I want you to, like, say something about this. Just like I will say this, though, before I stop talking. I feel like, Brother Bakari, our people, I'm going to include myself in there too. And I watched clips, like, where Black women would, you know, breastfeed you know, like, their babies, and then, like, would breastfeed another breast their babies. And do you guys think that there's just, like, this? I mean, like, by force, we have this connection with the Europeans, because we were raped by them. We were forced to feed, you know, like, to breastfeed their babies. And listen, you know, you guys know that my story. I was raised here for 30 years, you know, around white people. But historically, it has helped me become the person that I am. I'm so glad now because like I love myself more. I love my people more now because I know the BS that we went through. Yes, I was blind, 30 years ago. But now, I'm not trying to be religious. Now I was blind, but now I can see. But yes, now I can see. But listen, we are an amazing group of people. We are survivors. And then I want to say though too, FBA, ADOS, I don't care. One thing that really bothers me sometimes, Tariq Nasheed, he sometimes, I love his talking points. I actually learn a lot from what he has to say. But when he start getting into like FBA, pettiness and stuff like that, and but he also will claim our people who's non-FBA, like this guy who's from Haiti, like who founds Chicago. His name is Jean-Baptiste, and so Chicago is my favorite city in the world. But my thing is though, we are one. Like I know Dr. Umar Johnson is a Pan-Africanist, and listen, they look at us as one. They put us in one box. So I'm saying I'm for my people, and we are not gonna save everybody. Whoever wants to get on on the same page of the same righteousness, I'm down for you. I will ride and die for you. I will take a bullet for the cause. I will pass the mic.
Pledge, I'm gonna tell you right now, Pledge, them bullets, they hurt.
Yes, okay.
I'm walking with one right now. But Pledge, you said you wanted me to respond to something, then you kept going for like 3 or 4 minutes, and I forgot what you want me to respond to. Well, anyway, I thank y'all for letting me on your panel forecast. I thank you. It was a pleasure to join the panel. Then with a Pledge and
hey, forecast. I mean, Brother Bakari, I know it. I can tell you real quick. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It's our proximity to white people, how we defend them, how we so infatuated with them, how we so in love with them. My whole thing is like us have to like clean their house, breastfeed their babies, Do you think some of that coonism come from that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what inferiority complex come from. Yes, I do think that's what inferiority complex come from. I think that's why so many of our people like to call them white supremacists, because they do feel that they are superior. They feel they are superior. So to answer your question, yes, somewhat. A lot of it. A lot of it. So once again, thank you, Forecast. Good to be with you, Pledge, my other brother, my good brother, big brother MG2. Everybody in the chat, I thank y'all for listening. And this is my channel. This is Bakari. My channel is Brother Bakari. If you hadn't heard of me, you heard of me now. If I said something you like, go to the channel, smash the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. And if you already have, send it to about 5 of your friends and tell them to send it to about 5 of their friends and send it to about 5 of their friends and so on and so forth, so we can build Team Black. Hashtag Team Black. Hashtag United We Win. Hashtag Team Black. Peace and one love.
Yeah, Bakari. Peace to all the guys in the earth, my brother. And I'm gonna stop saying that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I know I ain't trying to offend nobody or nothing, but I just like to saying, what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? But let me go out with this. I'm gonna let my brother Khalid Muhammad speak my last words for me. So let me play this and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Good evening. This is the truth hour. And don't you touch that dial. You stay tuned in to the truth hour. I'm going to lock my jaws in the backside of these no good imposter perpetrating the fraud Jews behind and the rest of these crackers behind. And you know when a bulldog bites, his jaws lock.
At this point, my crew and I had the misfortune to be kneeling below the stage.
All of you are Holocaust victims. Every last one of you is a Holocaust victim.
As we were being moved by his bodyguards, Khalid Muhammad turned his attention on us.
Dirty, low down bastards.
And for a brief moment, we too knew what it was like to be hated.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. See ya. See ya. And I wouldn't want to be ya. You have to give these bastards hell, every last one of them. And there will come a time when we won't even allow you to come in the goddamn door. We'll run you out of here with your cameras and everything. We will run you down the streets of the cities of America.
All right, so yeah, shout out to Khalid Muhammad, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Ida B. Wells, you know what I'm saying? And let me shout out to the people who came through. My brother Bill Gates, Person Kid, my brother MG2. Make sure y'all subscribe to MG2 channel. That's a smart brother, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Leotis Brown. Shout out Lightbearer and subscribe to her. You know what I'm saying? That's my sister right there. Shout out to my brother Guy. Make sure y'all subscribe to him. And I put that video with that kite, with that shyster, you know what I'm saying, in there. And I guess later we'll vote on, you know what I'm saying, the appropriate name. MG2 said Small Hat. Bakari said he go with kite. I kind of like shyster. It's pretty good. Shout out to Raw. Shout out to her. Pelej, of course, my brother Pelej, you came on here. Shout out to you, my brother. Myra, shout out to Myra. Shout out to Matilda. Shout out to Brother Supremacy, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Who else? My brother DeMarcus, yo, that's my brother. Shout out to him. Can't forget him. Who else? Melanated Goddess. Thank you for coming and thank you for subscribing. I'm glad you're here now. So yeah, shout out to you. And if I'm missing somebody, shout out to you. Shout out to Blue. Shout out to all my brothers out there. Maurice Muhammad. Shout out to all my brothers. Afro Think Tank. All of them. So yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for listening. I appreciate y'all for coming on here. And we're gonna see y'all later. But as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.